Well, hey, it's time for Ask the Tech Guys. I'm Leo Laporte. Coming up, you might wonder why we're dressed so well. We celebrate Dick DeBartolo's birthday with a couple of crazy gadgets.
And I'm Micah Sargent, and we get to answer one of my favorite questions. How can I show my iPhone or iPad screen in a video?
Then, why does my remote control only work after it's been in the refrigerator for a while? We answer those questions and more next on Ask the Tech Guy.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is Ask the Tech Guys with Micah Sargent and Leo Laporte, episode 1997, recorded Sunday, October 22nd, 2023. Enjoy the BS. This episode of Ask the Tech Guys is brought to you by Mylio. Mylio Photos is a smart and powerful system that lets you easily organize, edit, and manage years of important documents, photos, and videos in an offline library hosted on any device, and it's free. See what has us so excited by visiting mylio.com/twit. And by our friends at IT Pro TV, now called ACI Learning. Keep your IT team's skills up with the speed of technology. Visit go.acilearning.com/twit. Twit listeners can receive up to 65% off an IT Pro Enterprise Solution Plan after completing their form. Based on your team's size, you'll receive a properly quoted discount tailored to your needs. Well, hey. There's Michael Sargent looking sharp.
Why, thank you. And now there's Leo Laporte in velvet, also looking sharp.
Can I take you to your table, sir? Micah Sargent, party of two. Every time I wear a tux, this is for those listening, purple velvet tux that I got for last year's Twit cruise to Alaska. So probably still soaked with COVID. But anyway... every time I wear a tux, I feel like I don't look fancy. I look like a maitre d'. Because these days, the only people you see wearing a tux are service personnel, right?
Yeah. And the only people wearing three-piece suits are
Micah
wedding goers.
Yeah, but you know what? You did this last week to me. I thought I better wear the tux. He's going to do it again.
Who knows? Who knows what might happen?
This is the show where we answer your computer or technology questions.
Your pewter questions.
It's the Sharp Dress Tech Guys episode. What is this? 1997.
That can't be.
Do you remember 1997?
Wow, I cannot believe we're on 1997. Let's see. 5. Yeah, I do. I remember getting ringworm that year. I remember...
Such fond memories. So nostalgic.
It was in California. And at that point...
We didn't give it to you, did you?
They still had sandboxes. I was Mary Faye Pendleton's school.
How old? Wait a minute.
Okay.
How old were you?
I would have been 5. In 97. 5 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. Let's stop talking about the year of the ringworm. 5 years old. I thought you were an adult. I thought, he came out to California to visit us or something.
In 97?
I forgot how young you are.
Wow. If you think I'm 40 and I look like this, that is very kind of you.
You look every bit of 31 or whatever you are.
I will be 31 this year, yeah.
Let us tell you the phone number, 888-724-2884, 888-724-2884. We are live Sundays 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern, 11 to 2 Pacific. So if you're watching at that time, you can call right now. Actually, you can call anytime and you leave a voice message if we're not here, but you will get through.
Absolutely.
Can they Zoom us?
They can. They can Zoom us by going to call.twit.tv. We suggest going to it on your mobile device because if you do, you've got the phone that has the camera and the microphone right there. So you head to call.twit.tv in your browser of choice, give the browser permission to access your camera and your microphone, and you will go into a waiting room where we will have the opportunity to bring you up on stage. We ask that you do raise your virtual hand in Zoom. There is a button button to do so.
Trevor does. And Micah from Maine does.
Yes, Maine man Micah as well. And that is because we do have people who just like to tune in on Zoom and watch
Some
the show.
people just sit there like J-O-I-O-G.
Exactly.
J-O-I-O-G. Rap name, yeah?
I think so, yeah. And so that's a great way to get in touch. Or you can also email us, atg@twit.tv. When you email us there with your question or your audio or your video, that is also an opportunity to get on the show and also work out Leo's rotator cuff.
Because I stick the email back here. Hey, Mark Gurman's newsletter came out this morning, 5:10 a.m., October 22nd. Why is he working on a Sunday?
I know, why? Why are you so busy?
Headline, Inside Apple's big plan to bring generative AI to its devices. Yawn. But way down, watch, go back to my screen, because watch. Way down upon the Swanee River. Apple's iMacs and MacBook Pros are in short supply, writes Mark Gurman, who is, we got to say, the most reliable rumor guy of all, ahead of planned launch at the end of the month. So, Apple's last updated the iMac in April of 2021. Since then, news about a follow-up model has been as elusive as a PowerBook G5. I don't even know. I don't get the reference. In an era of in-house Apple chips, it's rare for a Mac to go this long without an upgrade. It's been 900 days. This was never the plan. They wanted to do a larger, and Mark had even said this, pro-focused iMac soon after the little 24-inch iMac launched. You know, of course, I know why this happened, because Lisa just replaced her iMac Pro, her Intel iMac Pro, with the 24-inch iMac. So, of course, Apple's going to announce a new one. I'm told, says Mark Gurman, again, reliable source, the company tabled the iMac Pro plan a while ago due to cost concerns. Anyway, a new iMac is finally on the way. The company is readying the updated 24-inch. That's not the 30. Apple is planning a Mac-centered product launch around the end of this month.
On the 30th or the 31st is the
That's
guess.
Halloween. Don't do it on Halloween. I don't want to see Tim Cook in a...
Spooky.
What costume would Tim Cook wear?
Snoopy or something.
Yeah, he'd do maybe he look like Bono. Have Bono dress as Tim Cook. That'd be funny.
With the finger touch, the infamous finger touch. It's so awkward.
E.T. phone home. Anyway, what a shocker.
Yeah, because we thought that at this point there wouldn't be any new announcements. But yeah, could see some MacBook Pros and a new 24-inch iMac.
I do want to reiterate, there is a MacBook Pro no one should ever buy.
Absolutely there is.
13-inch. Because it is not good. I don't know why. You shouldn't. You should either get the 14 or 16 when it comes out. The problem is they'll probably, if they're going to push a 13-inch, this would be when they do it. So we just want to give you proactively, don't get your hopes up if they put out a 13, don't buy it. I actually made a note to myself some months ago. Leo, I said, do not buy a new MacBook until a 14-inch M3. And this I said to myself, with an OLED screen. But a mini LED screen would be the next thing. Would be okay.
So OLED or better?
Well,
OLED, or I guess they're not necessarily. Yeah, it's
micro LED probably would be better than OLED, but I don't think they're going to do that. But a mini LED would be pretty good. Not as good as OLED, I think. Anyway, I made a note so I wouldn't, how Odysseus had his men tie him to the mast so he could hear the sirens singing.
And wouldn't be.
I know the sirens will be singing on October 30th. So tie me to the mast.
Tie you to the mast.
And even if I say, but I have to have it, you say, no, you don't.
No, Leo, you said you wouldn't do it.
Thanks, I needed that. A little note from this is a kind of an inside note to listeners of our shows and viewers of our shows. Eero Plus has an ad blocker, right?
It does.
You use it.
I do, yes.
And it apparently is blocking some of our servers. I've heard it's blocking CacheFly, which is our CDN, as you know from all our ads. But it may also be blocking Libsyn, which does our advertised cast. They host some of our content. Pod Sites, which is Spotify ad analytics. Podscribe, most of our stuff doesn't have that in it. Or Memberful, which is for Club Twit folks. So we're not sure what they're blocking, but we have a blog post by our own Patrick Delahanty. If you go to this week or twit.tv and look at the blog posts, Eero plus update may block podcast. It'll tell you what to whitelist. And Eero, when we called him, said, well, if you're having problems, if your listeners are having problems, you have them contact us at support.eero.com. So I would like to there's no reason CashFly should be blocked. I can understand if they want to block some ad network.
I have actually had some issues with the ad blocking that Eero does anyway. As you know, my partner has a PlayStation 5 and
because I bought it for him as a gift.
It was a gift.
Let me get some credit for crying out loud.
And so,
as you might know,
as you very well know,
gave it to him.
Yes.
Okay.
That was the point. And so
I know, but the point was only known to me.
Look, sometimes people want to share that with the world. Sometimes.
Oh, you didn't know. You were protecting.
I was protecting just
my generosity, because I might be one of those people who gives with the left hand without the right hand knowing.
Exactly. I wanted to let you be in charge of that.
Both hands gave him the
get
PS5.
to know. So, point is, playing on the network or whatever, and getting notifications saying that the network is not able to connect in some ways, and this and that and the other. And I would toggle off Eero's ad blocking, and then it would start working. So it's blocking stuff that it shouldn't be blocking. I ended up going into the ad list, or the allow list rather, and adding a bunch of PlayStation server things. And we have also created, you can go to twit.tv/allow list, which will now contain the various domains that you should add.
Twit.tv/allow list, all one word.
All one word.
Lowercase.
All one word, lowercase. Yes.
That's so you know what to tell your ad blocker, whatever it is, if you're having trouble getting our podcasts. I promise you we're not doing anything nefarious or evil or wrong. Different people host the shows. Almost everything's on CashFly, but some of it's on Libsyn. And that is so we can use their advertisecast, which puts ads in empty slots, that kind of. Look, folks, I've told you before, advertising and podcasting has gotten very tricksy. For some reason, podcast advertisers decide they don't like podcasts. Everybody wants to be on Marquez Brownlee's YouTube channel.
Yeah, a lot of
not
YouTube.
us anymore. So as a result, we have to do whatever we can because they're making demands. But we will never. I promise you, we're not going to spy on you. We really try to keep this as limited as possible, and we can't because it's a podcast. And because it's Sunday, NFL Day, big Sunday.
I see what's on your screen.
You see, it's a big Sunday. Just want everybody to know, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's relationship definitely isn't a fling. Okay? Just wanted everybody to know that in tech news. That's the hot tech news. Okay, you could stop now. We actually have a big event coming up on Tuesday.
That's right.
Qualcomm. So we've talked a lot about how great we think the M1 chips, the M2 chips are in the Apple. Their Apple Silicon has just leapfrogged over everybody else. And really, I love these M1-based machines or M2-based machines. But Microsoft and Intel and everybody else says, wait, we got it. We can do this.
Wait, yeah.
We can do this.
Look what we can do. We can do it.
Intel is yet to. Qualcomm, which makes ARM chips for phones, but also makes, and I think has an exclusive with Microsoft, for ARM chips for Windows on ARM, has said, we have licked it. We figured it out, and we can make a chip every bit as good as Apple's.
Watch us.
The Snapdragon X, they are having their annual Snapdragon event is Tuesday. Keynote is at noon on Tuesday, Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. We will stream it. We'll cover it because I think it's going to be important. So you're going to start a little bit early on iOS today.
That is correct.
This
yes.
Tuesday.
8:30 as opposed to 9. We'll start a little early.
And Mac Break Weekly will start an hour early, 10 as opposed to 11. This is all Pacific time. And immediately after Mac Break Weekly, the Qualcomm event, followed by Security Now. So a little program, a note. And I think this is, we'll see. We may be wrong.
Right. But I know that the Windows watchers of the world are also interested in what Snapdragon is doing.
They would love. Can you imagine? I'd like it for Linux too. If you want to use a PC, why should you not get the efficiency and the performance of Apple Silicon?
Do you think that this could also push forward, in a way, Mac gaming if the Windows side of things is suddenly run on ARM chips and that becomes more viable? Could we then see gaming developers really start to focus on ARM chips as the basis of what they're doing? Do you think that would have an impact at all? No? Okay.
Mostly because Apple has a completely different technology for graphics, the Metal yeah. versus the DirectX that's used on Windows. And really, so this is a complicated subject. Most games are developed on game engines, either the Unreal Engine or Unity. Unreal Engine does not run on Apple.
Right.
Most of the best games on Windows are running on Unreal Engine. So those will never run on Apple because it's complicated. It's hard to port it over to Unity. A lot of Unity games do run on Apple, but not all. So, and then if you're not using an engine, then you're writing your own kind of graphics engine, and you're probably going to base it on DirectX, which does not work on Apple, as opposed to Apple's Metal, which does not work on Windows. So there's more than just the instruction set of the processor. Unfortunately, I wish it weren't so. However, we're seeing some pretty good games on the Mac side.
Slowly but surely.
Baldur's Gate 3 is on Macintosh, which is nice.
Yeah.
That's one of your favorites, isn't John Ashley? I believe
I actually haven't been playing it. My girlfriend Lindsay has been playing the heck out of it, though. She is 6 campaigns in deep.
Wow.
She hasn't beaten the game yet, though.
I know our own Anthony Nielsen also very much likes that
And
game.
Paris Martineau is a big Baldur's Gate fan.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. All right. Enough of us gabbing away. John Ashley, producer man. We've got Dick DeBartolo. We're going to celebrate. One of the reasons we're dressed up, Dick is celebrating his 78th birthday this week. So we've got Dick coming up. We're going to celebrate his birthday party at noon, right?
Yeah. At noon.
And I think we should do some calls. But do you think maybe I should take a commercial break here, or is it too soon?
I wouldn't say no, personally.
So yes.
That's what I like, a producer with convictions.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's take it.
A convicted producer?
A conviction. Yeah, he has.
Okay, well, so when
Your Honor?
when you guys hired me, I didn't
Never
accept-
convicted. Never. Let's just say
Oh,
never
I see.
convicted.
Only charged, never convicted. That's the name of my autobiography.
I feel like Jerry Lewis in this outfit. You'll never walk alone. Our show today brought to you by, I'm so actually thrilled to have these guys, Wix web agencies. You're going to love this one. Let me tell you about Wix Studio. It's the platform that gives agencies total creative freedom to deliver complex client sites while still smashing deadlines. How? Well, first, let's talk about the advanced design capabilities. With Wix Studio, you can build unique layouts with a revolutionary grid experience. Watch as elements scale proportionally by default. No-code animations add sparks of delight. Custom CSS gives total design control, but it doesn't stop there. Bring ambitious client projects to life in any industry with a fully integrated suite of business solutions, from eCamm to events, bookings, and more, and extend the capabilities even further with hundreds of APIs and integrations. You know what else? The workflows just make sense. There's the built-in AI tools, the centralized workspace, the on-canvas collaborating, the reuse of assets across sites, the seamless client handover, and that's not all. Find out more at wix.com/studio. Thank you, Wix.
Thank you.
Where'd those donuts go? Were those donuts? Burke came in here. Well, it's not fair when I'm doing a commercial. You come in here with a striped box, and then you leave before the commercial's over. You know full well I cannot stop to say.
That's why it was the perfect time.
It's like he planned it.
I guess that's probably the right way to go. Who should we start with here?
I feel like we have to go with Main Man Micah.
Main Man Micah. Main Man Micah. Welcome to the Tech Guys Show. Come into our Stargate, Main Man Micah. He is the one of the co-hosts of the Airplane Guy podcast, and is an airplane aficionado, and probably agrees with me that I will never fly Southwest again. Actually, I will. The next flight, I'll be going down to Las Vegas. That's the easiest way to get Vegas from here. Hello, Main Man Micah.
Hello, can you hear me? Am I unmuted and is everything working?
Everything appears to be working.
We read you 5 by 5, Echo Bravo.
That's cleared for takeoff.
First, I need to apologize. I didn't get the invitation. I didn't realize it was formal. Otherwise,
Formal night.
I'm underdressed. I just feel awful. I shouldn't be attending.
No,
this
actually,
party.
you're perfect because the theme tonight is under the sea, and you are over the sea, and that's a beautiful shot out of an airplane window, I think.
Thank you. That's someplace over Newfoundland on my way back from London last time.
That's gorgeous. Yeah, it's so funny how I was thinking this as I was taking off. Did a lot of flying this last couple of days. We're hurtling through the air at 600 miles an hour, 5 miles above the ground. It's like
it is.
And we take it for granted.
Yeah.
Like, no big deal. Don't you hate
it? Drives me nuts. Everybody has their windows down. They're looking at their screen.
Nobody's looking.
Nobody has any idea or cares. And it really kind of drives me crazy. On the 787s, the flight attendants can control the windows and they can darken them so that you can't look out whether you want to or not.
You can't open that up, huh?
Well, no, you can't if they do it for everyone. Although if you're very kind to the flight attendants, as I am, and have given them a gift ahead of time and say, I'd really like to be able to look out, they can individually control.
This is another thing on Southwest. The flight attendants are now begging. On one flight, they said, "Hey, thanks for the candy, guy in A1."
Oh,
Anybody
wow.
else?
Oh, wow.
And then I'm getting on the flight, and the guy says, "I'm a NASA. I work at NASA. Here, have some stickers and pins." I forget. You now have to bribe flight attendants. That's part of the deal. Johnny Jett always.
Now wait a minute. You don't have to bribe them.
Oh, okay.
But it's a nice thing to do because they work incredibly hard.
It's hard work.
Their job is not easy at all. And I don't know if I'll say this on the air and you can bleep me if you have to, but I always tell them I really, really want to thank you because I know you're not here to kiss my. You're here to save it.
Yeah, that's right. They try every once in a while. They say, we're not waiters. We are safety personnel. That's our first job. No, I know, and they don't even get paid till the planes and the door closes and stuff. It's just anyway. I appreciate it. We had very nice. Southwest always has fun flight attendants, so I like that. That's always fun.
Southwest is great for what it is, but you have to remember what it is. And if you're going to fly, a couple of hours, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be flying cross country. As you were saying before the show, Leo, at our age and at our size, we want to be flying in business class. It's just the way it's got to be,
Yeah. It's too bad, but that's probably the case. What can we do for you, main man, Micah?
Well, I was calling about a couple of things that you spoke about last week, and I think I have a solution for one of your callers.
Love that.
You had a recorded call from someone who was trying to find a way to use his GPS for his daughter that wouldn't reroute her. And I've got two really simple solutions, and maybe neither one would work because you guys didn't think of them, and that's why I'm a little concerned.
Well, we also got a lot of email, chiefly turn off connectivity and then use the downloaded map. But you want your phone to work. But anyway, what is your suggestion?
Well, that was mine.
Yeah.
You turn off Wi-Fi and you turn off your phone and you have the map downloaded and it's cellular and you have the map downloaded and then you're all set.
It won't reroute because it can't.
It can't. It has no idea what's going on. Yeah.
Exactly. It's perfect. Although then if you need your phone, you have to, get into settings and turn your cellular network back on.
Right.
That's the simplest one. But the one that's slightly more expensive, and actually the thing that I use, is I have a separate GPS in the car.
Yeah.
Nothing works better from my perspective than a Garmin GPS. It's a much better system than any of the phone systems that I've used, and better than anything built into any of the automobiles. It's designed specifically for that. And if you power it up without the antenna on it, you're going to get the route, and it's going to be the same route each time. And it's a separate screen, which is pretty good because that way you don't have your phone screen in front of you that's giving you text messages and all these other things that are coming in while you're driving.
The Garmin maps can be updated, but it is not online. So it has the GPS satellite radio, obviously, so it can see where you are, but it's doing the map internally on device, right? So
exactly.
Yeah.
Now, some of them also have an antenna built into the power supply so that, it can receive updates and traffic updates, and it might reroute you. But you just get a standard power supply line, for $5 and plug it into your well, they don't call them cigarette lighter adapters anymore, but plug it into that power port, and then you're all set.
I needed GPS because I was driving all over Providence, and in New England cities are crazy because they're old, and so the streets are all kind of nutty, and the drivers are even nuttier. And so I was really totally reliant on. I used Apple Maps on CarPlay, and it did a good job. But I found myself feeling guilty. For instance, it always tries to put me on the highway, and I didn't want to go on the highway, and I always felt guilty ignoring. Now merge into the freeway when I go straight. But the good thing about Apple Maps, it doesn't do that kind of passive aggressive rerouting. It just silently continues on. Garmin does that though, I bet. Rerouting.
Yeah, it will do that. And I mentioned Garmin. There are other brands. I just happen to really like Garmin. I've always used them, and I have a couple of them. And in fact, I'm heading to Tampa in a month, and going to bring one with me for my rental car because I just think it's a lot simpler than having to use my iPhone.
Good answer.
So
okay. There's two ways.
That was one reason why I called. I called for another reason. I took a little bit of offense when you were talking with Rod Pyle last week, is because you were besmirching Boeing. And while Boeing, the current Boeing, perhaps does deserve to be besmirched, you need to remember.
Well, that's who we were besmirching. We weren't besmirching Boeing, old Boeing. We were besmirching him for the 737 MAX fiasco, which admittedly was a misstep on their part. And mostly Rod was just besmirching them for how poorly they've done the latest aerospace.
Well, I can talk about the 737 MAX a little bit if you want to, but that wasn't all Boeing.
Tell me good stuff about Boeing.
But Boeing is not Boeing anymore. That's what you need to remember. In 1997, Boeing, this incredible company run by great engineers, merged and was taken over by McDonnell Douglas, this terrible company run by accountants. And McDonnell Douglas bought Boeing and kept the Boeing name.
That's who we
so
should
Boeing
hate.
is really McDonnell Douglas right now.
Because you're right. I mean, I love flying in the 747. I love the 777. Isn't it amazing that for years, the 727's the workhorse of airlines, just went for 30 years. And now I'm always happy to fly a 737. And I did fly a MAX this week, and I feel fine now. I know they've fixed them. But you're right. I mean, they made... You know what I do miss is the DC-10, which was a McDonnell Douglas. I thought that was a great plane. Am I wrong?
And the DC-10 had horrible problems at first. There was this is one of the examples is that the DC-10 was competing with the L-1011 at the same time. They were both coming out. They were both three-engine jets. And McDonnell Douglas was building the DC-10 at the same time that Lockheed was building the L-1011. And the word at the factory, they wanted to get the DC-10 out so quickly and ahead of the L-1011 that the rumor at the factory, what everybody was saying was fly before they roll, meaning that they wanted the DC-10 in the air and with the airlines before the L-1011 even rolled out of the hangar for the first time.
Things.
And they rushed it so quickly.
Nobody
that you may
flies
recall,
DC-10s anymore. Like the whole... you still see the 727s, but nobody's flying a DC-10 anymore.
Well, the DC-10 is a very old aircraft, and it was retired. The MD-11, I think FedEx is retiring them now. That was a derivation of it, also a TriStar. But they just don't need the three engines anymore. You can do the same thing with a bigger plane with just two engines now.
Especially with fuel costs.
The last aircraft that the real Boeing designed was a 787. And while there were some problems with that, they were technology problems based on the new battery technology that they resolved very, very quickly. But everything else since then, the MAX, et cetera, and so on, were McDonnell Douglas designs.
I only know
projects.
Airplanes from the back seats, so I don't have any other knowledge, but I know which ones I like to fly on, and I love the Dreamliner. That's
the 787 and the A350. If you're going long distance, that's the plane you want to be on because they can keep the cabin pressure at a lower altitude, a higher pressure with more moisture in it, and you feel so much more refreshed.
Much better.
So anytime you're flying overseas, if you can possibly get on one of those two, definitely do that.
I do.
The other thing I wanted to...
Oh, go ahead.
The other thing I wanted to tell you is that you are correct, is that it's not a technical thing. It's just a courtesy thing. If you're in the middle seat, you get both armrests. That's how it goes.
Ask you.
It's common courtesy. It's well-known common courtesy among frequent flyers. But most of the little old ladies that are flying Southwest,
she didn't know that.
just don't know.
And nor did Marshawn Lynch on my left. I told Mike I was flying like this. I just, I use Flighty, which is a wonderful app.
The best app isn't it great?
It's so great.
Absolutely fabulous.
It's
Ryan, who designed that, unbelievable.
And I use it because of you and Johnny Jett, both singing its praises. And it's like $25 a year, but if you fly at all, it's really worth it. You often know before the gate knows whether you're going to be delayed. But I just got my Flighty passport, and I don't know how it knew, but I have traveled 489,000 miles, almost 500,000 miles, 48 days, 3 hours in the air, 78 airports, 28 airlines. I can't remember how many countries, so 50 or 60 countries. So thank you, I didn't even know Flighty was keeping track of this. 48 days.
Let me
that
give
amazing?
Flighty just one more or maybe two more little plugs because people don't realize how great it is. Yeah, it's $25 a year, but I think it's only $10 a month. And you can subscribe from month to month. So if you're not a regular traveler, you can just get it when you're going and have it for that month and then stop the subscription.
I almost want to reward them because it's such a great app. I just want to give them my money.
It's absolutely super, and it's constantly being developed. And I can also tell you that I'm very, very fortunate in that I have friends that are dispatchers. So if I'm flying someplace and there's an issue, I can get in touch with my friend and he can tell me, well, this is delayed or that's delayed or whatever. And I had that happen maybe a year ago where there was some horrible weather up here in Portland and I had to get down to Charleston and the flight was delayed and delayed and delayed. And I called my friend to see what was going on. He said, oh, no, it's going. And then I got the message from Flighty that said, no, it wasn't. And 10 minutes later, he texted me and said, oh, no, it isn't.
You're right.
And I found out before he knew.
Yep. It's amazing. It's only iOS, sad to say. But if you use an iPhone, Flighty, and you fly a lot, there's no substitute. And it works on the Apple Watch, too. So I was keeping track of everything on my Apple Watch. It was just really fantastic.
Even if you're not flying, it works great if you have friends that are flying and you need to keep track of them. You can send your friends your flight itinerary. They can see what's going on.
Yeah, I do that. I share it.
Pick you up at the airport.
Yeah, when I'm on my way home or when I'm leaving in the plane, I share my itinerary. I didn't know there were 78 airports in the world, let alone 28 airlines, but I also don't know how Flighty knew this because I've only been using it for a few years. But I guess they must have asked the airlines or something. Anyway, I was impressed with this. Thank you, main man Micah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
Great talking with you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
I'm thinking Trevor. What do you think?
Let's do Trevor.
All right. That's what I'm thinking. We're thinking great minds,
Trevor.
thinking alike. Trevor's had his hand
Come
raised
on
before
down,
the show.
Trevor.
Join us in the Stargate, Mr. Trevor.
I think Trevor might have accidentally hung up because Trevor was in the on-air room and now Trevor is gone.
We lost Trevor. Who else should we talk? Should we do a voicemail?
Let's do a voicemail
or an email. Voicemail time.
Hi, Leo and Micah. This is Charles in Chicago.
Hi, Charles.
I have a question about CarPlay from Apple, of course. I use it religiously, and every time I get in the car and plug my phone in, it tries to navigate me home automatically, and it drives me bananas. I don't need it to navigate me home. I know where home is. Could you tell me if there's a way to turn that quote feature off? Thanks, guys. Love
that
the show.
quote feature.
That's a great question. I mistakenly favorited a hotel that we were staying at in Lisbon last spring. And every time I get in the car, it says, do you want to go to Lisbon? And I say, no, thank you very much. I got rid of that, by the way, by unfavoriting that hotel. So it no longer asks if I want to go there.
Yeah.
How do we change this behavior? That's a little annoying.
So because your home is listed as in iOS
it's a
land,
favorite?
It's not that it's a favorite, it's that it's a frequent location. Buried deep within the settings, in your privacy settings, there is a section marked frequent locations. And it usually is your work in your home. And Apple over time realizes, oh, this is the person's home, this is their work, and that's why it's doing that. If you turn off Siri suggestions for CarPlay, though, then you should no longer see this. But what that means is that you're turning off all Siri suggestions. So if, for example, you have a HomeKit garage door that whenever you get close to your home, it pops up on your thing, if that won't be there. If you have calendar events that are about to pop up, that won't be there. there. But if you just want to, excuse me, remove your home as this thing that iOS and therefore Siri and therefore CarPlay knows about, then you can do that in your settings. So
I'm surprised that it starts the navigation each time, though. Have you ever experienced that? I've never experienced that.
So I think what our caller is actually talking about is it doesn't go as far as to start the navigation where it's talking to you.
Yeah.
But what it will do is, because I've had this happen a number of times, it will show the route and it will show your place along the route.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not actually navigating.
It's just saying in case you want to go there.
Yeah.
And
so
then if you tapped it, it would start navigating.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So
and I think that's a nice feature.
Right. In a way, I almost
it.
feel like, I hate to say it, but maybe just get over it. It's not really, I know, but it's not really doing anything. It's just happening in the background.
Just showing it.
Yeah, it's just showing it. So if you can ignore it, then, nothing is changing. But if it's grinding your gears, then you can go into your settings, to the privacy settings, go into your locations and remove it from those.
Now, I do have to say, Scooter X has posted
I did see that
Medium article, Stop Apple Maps on CarPlay from automatically navigating home. I wonder if some of them actually are starting the navigation.
No, this is what I was talking about, showing Siri suggestions.
Showing it. Okay.
So yeah, this was
You could also
my
turn off Siri
recommendation.
suggestions for CarPlay, right?
Yep, you open settings, you navigate to maps, and then Siri and search, and then toggle it off for maps.
Turn off the suggestions.
Yeah. So that's good. That very specific thing is a little bit newer, where it used to be that if you turned off Siri suggestions for CarPlay, it would turn off all of those automatically happening things. But now you can go into settings, you can tap on maps, and then just turn them off for maps.
So it's not really navigating, it's just showing you.
It's just
a
showing
picture.
you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, when the
it
little
would be
route
annoying
pops
if
up.
it said turn left.
Right,
that would
if
be
it started
annoying.
talking. But
Yeah,
yes, I have never had it do that. It's only ever just shown my navigational route.
I see you've pushed a button, John. Should we go to the wireless caller?
What are you talking?
You didn't push a button?
No.
I want to say hi to Wave 13.
Wave 13. Okay.
I'm picking up Wave 13. I'm picking up the waves, the miracle waves, because Wave 13. Hi, Wave. Hey, can you hear us?
Yeah. Hi. So I was wondering. I have a new phone now, but a while ago my phone it just quit out, it died, and then it just didn't turn on after I charged it. Is there anything wrong with it?
Sounds like
you mean
it.
the screen went dark and you had to turn it on in order for it to work?
It died, and then I had tried to turn it on again, and then it didn't turn on.
Sounds like the battery might have gone.
It sounds also like what happened to Lisa when she did the update.
Oh, it could be that.
So when you charge it, does it take a charge? By the way, what's your first name? I don't want to call you Wave 13 unless you want me to.
Skylar.
Tyler?
Skylar?
Oh,
Skylar?
Skylar or Tyler?
Okay, well, bye.
Oh,
Bye.
You got to go to work. Okay. I think her mom was, one of the reasons I wanted to pick her up is because she did what we keep trying to tell people. She was on her phone. I could see her on the camera swiping and stuff.
I didn't realize.
I thought, oh, this is good. But
maybe the rule was not to say your name, and then so you had to get off.
Oh, maybe, or maybe
or
she
to work.
Yeah. It sounded like they were going in the mall. I don't know. That's what I thought.
But yeah, there are then two options. You can do a force restart if you're still listening out there. You can do a force restart on your phone if it is the issue that Lisa had. Or if you try to plug it in, it's not getting a charge. It might be that the battery has just gone bad.
They do sometimes if it's an older phone.
Yeah.
They only have a certain number of charges they can do. Yeah, well, thank you for calling. Anyway, it was worth a try.
Okay,
So
Trevor is back now. We can try.
All right.
Oh, good.
I'll brace on Trevor.
Okay, let's see if we can get Trevor on. Must have. Sometimes when to say your name, you jump and you push the wrong button.
Exactly.
And hang up. Hi, Trevor.
Well,
are you there?
Yep. Live from California.
Hey.
Petaluma. It is Leo Laporte and the tech guys.
You don't remember Micah's name?
It's okay.
Oh my God!
It's okay.
Don't
Trevor,
give the guy a complex. He's gonna be. I'm gonna be long gone. Mike is such a young guy. I'm going to be long gone. He's going to be hosting this show for years. So be nice to Micah. He's going to be the tech guy by himself. Maybe if you would, just like put a picture of me.
I would love to.
Just a little framed photo.
Oh, your little people. We could have had those.
Oh, yeah. What happened to my little people? Did somebody eat my people?
Oh, no.
They're not candy.
She got a hold of your people.
What can we do for you, Trevor?
Oh, my journey is still going for getting the Living with Disabilities podcast going.
Oh, it's this Trevor. Hi, Trevor. Good to talk to you.
Yeah.
So
well, I think about emailing you about a couple things, but then it's like you get too many emails. So.
I never answer emails. Yeah, that's
Yeah. But basically, I went through looking for podcast hosts, and it's just an all-in-one solution. I don't want it. I spoke to Buzz because I'm going to be doing 160 hours a week.
We are now using Libsyn for some of our shows, and I'm a big fan. Libsyn started hosting. What's wrong with them?
$150 a month.
What?
And that's like, I'm just really.
They used to be free.
Okay. My issue is that I'm posting 22 days a month times 3 hours.
Okay, that's why. Yeah, you pay for storage on Libsyn, not for bandwidth.
Yeah. I have my VPS. I get 4 to 8 cents a gigabyte.
Well, we talked about this before. Storage. You could host it on your VPS.
Yeah. So the last two things I have to work out now is to do how to do the RSS feed, also make the site, and then to go to all the providers, and then often going through Pod Tracker.
Did you look at Anchor FM, Spotify's solution ever?
Yeah. Spotify is terrible.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, but now I'm into the stuff that's really thinking about how to do the live show, and I'm looking at. I went to go look at Wirecast Pro, and now they've gone to a subscription-only price. You can't buy it anymore.
Yeah. I think, it's funny because Libsyn, when they first started, they started roughly when we started in 2005, and they were free, but I know they no longer have a free plan that starts at $5 a month. And I suspect that what's happened is bandwidth is not free. Mm-hmm. And in the early days, maybe everybody was trying to grow rather than make money. But eventually, trust me, you have to make money. So once the blush wears off, it's time to start charging. And I think that it's I don't know of anybody who does it for free except for Anchor FM. Yeah, and one of the nice things about Anchor is that they will do your RSS for you. Yep. So in the early days of podcasting, let me put on my old man hat. In the early days of podcasting, we did it by hand. I was literally, because an RSS feed is an XML file. It's like HTML. It's a markup language. And if you look, you can actually look at an RSS file. You can look at ours if you want, if you just open it in your browser. You could see all the text. It's just a formatted text. And you can do it by hand. It's a pain, but you can. For a long time, there were a number of programs that would do it for you, so you could fill out forms, and they'd write it. But honestly, it's too easy to make mistakes. It's too easy to make mistakes. And I think that's why I like Anchor, and that's because they'll do everything for you. They'll make it possible for your show to be everywhere.
But doing the video is the thing is.
Well, they don't. Yeah.
I'm looking at Wirecast Pro because I need separate channels for everything. I have what do you call it? I have my audio coming in from up to 4 microphones.
Trevor, I love you, but you have such a specific issue, and we've talked before, and I don't really think I can help you here because it's just so specific. And it's, I think you're just going to have to figure this one out on your own. I'm sorry to say. I've told you some ideas. Some things I think work. But that's.
Yeah, there's almost at a point you got to find some give in a way, and so there's the opportunity to, if you want to think about starting out. Maybe you host your video part on YouTube, and you do the audio part.
Actually,
on
YouTube might be a great choice. They actually do support
and they do audio.
Video as well as audio only podcasts.
And right now they've got, I think Google, of course, is bringing over podcasting to YouTube itself. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see even more from them. But yeah, perhaps exactly what you're looking for, you're not going to find, and you've got to make some compromises somewhere. And we've provided some different tools you can use to get what you want for the most part.
By the way, Anchor.fm is now called Spotify for podcasters.
Yep.
And I actually haven't tried the new features yet, so I don't know how it's changed.
I'm not sure either. Yeah.
I still have a podcast on there called Leo on the Line. It was my emergency escape hatch. If everything falls apart, I thought, well, I can always do that, and I can just call people up.
It's
hey,
Leo
Micah,
on the line.
You remember Leo? I'm on the line right now. Tell me something, and I hang up and do another one like that.
Yeah.
Hey, you know who's on the line?
Who's on the line?
The birthday boy. But before we say hello to Dickie D,
You
help him
tease.
celebrate his birthday, I want to tell you a little bit about our sponsor, MyLeo.
Whoa, we love MyLeo.
Have you been playing with it?
Of course.
I put everything in MyLeo now.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of us are looking for a way to organize all of our photos, to keep track of them, to sort them, to preserve them for future generations, and to preserve them for ourselves. And there have been in the past some great solutions. For a long time, I used Picasa, loved that. Then Google bought it and killed it. I used Lightroom with Adobe, and then Adobe started wanting you to store your photos in their cloud. Nah, not going to do it. I've recommended Google Photos, but a lot of people don't want to store these precious photos on somebody else's servers. You got to find out about MyLeo. MyLeo is fantastic. MyLeo is the smart way to organize your photos, to share your photos, to keep track of your photos. It's free on a single platform, so you can try it, make sure it works for you. And you don't have to store your photos in somebody else's cloud. Now, MyLeo has a cloud that you can store them in. You can also, MyLeo has built-in encryption, so it's safe for you to use MyLeo with Google Drive or iCloud or OneDrive or Dropbox or anywhere else as a backup solution because they're encrypted. No one can see them. MyLeo is the solution to digital management. And I should really say, it's called MyLeo Photos. It's for photos and videos and even documents. And when you set it up, I set it up so it imports everything from Instagram, everything from Flickr, everything from Facebook, everything from iPhoto, everything from my documents folder.
I love that.
So I don't have to even think about it. MyLeo, whenever I take a picture on a phone, Android or iOS, or I make a new document, it all gets into MyLeo. MyLeo has OCR, optical character recognition, built in, so it knows the text in a PDF file or a photo. You can search that way. It's got incredibly, very sophisticated cataloging. For instance, it'll automatically, on device, by the way, it's not doing this in the cloud, assign AI smart tags to your files. Dynamic search, quick filters makes it possible to find specific photos very, very fast. You'll have to train it on people's faces, but what I did is I trained it on a few faces, and then it goes through all. I have 200,000 photos in MyLeo. In fact, I wanted to get everything out of Google Cloud, out of Google Photos, so I did a takeout, Google Photos takeout. MyLeo ingests it, removes the duplicates.
Woo!
It even makes it easy for you to edit a photo either in MyLeo, they have good photo editing tools, but you can also say, edit this in, and then substitute your editor right there. They just added a Spaces tool, which is great for Mom, because I can now put her in a space, and she can see the photos I share with her, but she can't see the photos I don't share with her. You can create custom categories in a quick collection that's easy to share, so you can share with other MyLeo Photos users. You can even collaborate on editing, managing. You can have, let's say you've got a wedding or an event, you can have a MyLeo space for that event that everybody can upload to. And again, yeah, you could do that in Google, but you're not giving the photos to Google.
Exactly.
I love the option to keep spaces private, either with passwords or pins. I get extra security when sharing my spaces. I love MyLeo Photos. MyLeo Photos, try it free on one device, and with the MyLeo Photos Plus subscription, all your devices can connect in one library: iOS, Android, Mac, Windows, no cloud storage required. They sync peer-to-peer. With offline storage, I don't need to rely on the cloud to keep files accessible through devices. I actually use my Synology NAS for the backup. I can also create new backup systems and know they're secure. Works great with your NAS. Or, as I said, encrypt and then put it on Dropbox. Download Mylio today for free, MYLIO, and see what's got us so excited. This is just, to me, life changer. Get Mylio photos on your computer or mobile device. Go to our special URL, mylio.com/twit, mylio.com/twit. And as I said, free forever on a single device. Mm-hmm. So this is a great way to see if it's right for you. Try it on a phone. I would put it on your computer or something with a lot of storage. Make that your master device. But it's up to you. Free. Mylio.com/twit. Thank you, Mylio. Thank you to Burke, who felt so guilty that during the last ad, he brought me half a donut.
Is that chocolate cake donut?
He's taking care of me. That's what he's doing. Thank you, Burke. I'm going to save that for my cup of coffee later.
Ooh, a nice little dip.
Yeah. I was in the land of Dunkin', and I didn't go to Dunkin' once.
Really?
Yeah.
Honestly, that shows restraint.
It was real restraint, because there's a Dunkin' on every corner of Providence. I mean, not kidding. It's worse than Starbucks. There are Dunkins everywhere.
All over.
Sometimes there's Dunkins inside of Dunkins. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, happy birthday, boy, Dick DeBartolo.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much.
We dressed up for you, Dickie D.
Yeah, I can see that. I said to Dennis, why are they dressed like that? He said, birthday glow. It's just,
it
goes on for days.
It is. I'm glown up. All glown up.
All glown up for you, Dickie D.
For you, Dickie D. Happy birthday. Did you have a good, it was Thursday?
It was Thursday. Yeah. Dennis had a surprise party with about 500 people.
No.
2 open bars.
What? No, you're
lying.
And
as we walked in, I said, "Oh my God!" He said, "Yeah, it's for you." And I said, "Did they misprint a sign because it says welcome to Pepcom?" Those sign painters.
They messed up. It was for you. The chocolate fountain and everything just for you and a number of other tech journalists. So Pepcom,
yes, exactly.
Pepcom was on your birthday. That was nice of them.
Yeah. So that was a perfect way to celebrate it, because I like gadgets and I like food, and they had both those things.
Yeah. They realized Pepcom used to be just along with CES, but now they do it all year round. And they realized the best way to get tech journalists to come and cover new products is to feed them.
Yeah.
And they feed them quite well, actually.
Yeah, they do.
No, absolutely. It's very funny. There was a toy event last year where there was food, and when you went to the table, it said, the food is, I'm sorry, but it's only for exhibitors.
No, sorry.
Yeah. And this year, I went to that event, and I think there were maybe 20 of us.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. It is a big part.
There's a reason.
Press event.
Yes. So you have brought us back virtually 2 fabulous gadgets.
Yeah. I didn't know about either one. The first one is called Lox Box. That's where the salmon was, but it happens to have
LOXX?
LOXX. Now, I could use this, but of course, in a city, there's no room for it. So Lox Box goes on your porch or wherever you want. You screw it down so they can't just take the box. And the box is Wi-Fi, cell, and Bluetooth enabled. And the guy said, what's different about Lockbox, because there are other systems out there, is you register each delivery service that you use. But with Lockbox, they make it so the last 4 digit of your tracking number is all it needs.
That's clever.
And of course, the delivery guy has that.
Exactly. And then it'll phone you, or if you don't have LTE service, it'll, through your home Wi-Fi,
this is quite
send
clever.
You a text.
It's very clever.
Yeah. And I said to the guy, what if The guy comes and opens the box. The box stays open, unlocked for a minute. And there's a package in there, and he takes it. I said, unlikely, because a regular delivery service. He said, well, we have the exact time that the box opened. We know exactly where the package came from. And the service, of course, will know who the driver was for that. Mm-hmm. So he said it's highly unlikely that someone's going to take your package. They know that
we have all our packages delivered to our porch, and it's safe because we're on a dead end and we're in a safe neighborhood. But if
you have all your packages delivered
right to the porch,
for him, he's saying it's okay. Just the other day, right down the street from where I live, because I got a notification on the community app. I was flabbergasted. I felt kind-looking older woman who had her dog with her walks up with absolute, utter, no concern at all, walks up to this person's porch, sees this it was a big package on this person's porch.
The person must have had a camera.
Yes, they had a camera, exactly, so they were able to share this. And with, I kid you not, I will just say a grin. There's perhaps some words I want to use before that. A certain kind of grin on her face, proceeds to pick up this very large package while she puts down the leash from her dog and hoist it and carry it away with the dog trotting behind her. And I thought, if I ever saw this person, I would never believe that they would ever steal a small package, let alone a gigantic package.
Porch piracy's become a big problem.
Yeah, a lot of people do it.
So this actually really looks like a good product. I think they've solved all the issues.
So there's a 4 cubic foot one, I think is $399, and then there's an 8 cubic foot one, which is $449, $50 more.
Okay, so this is only for somebody who really has been losing packages and is tearing their hair out.
Exactly. And they have, I think, a $2 subscription fee a month.
You have to pay for.
Oh, because they would have to contact the APIs for the shipping places and all that kind of stuff. So ongoing web services.
Exactly. Now, the other thing was bizarre. It turned out that this company has been around for 20 years, but the woman said they only built electric saws, big installations for corporations.
Oh, great. And you're recommending a table saw. We're going to have a bunch of 4-fingered listeners here.
No, not in this case.
What?
No. They have a little 1-minute video. I also put the link to it on my website that shows you how it works. And I was hoping, you can hear this if we want.
All right. Let me turn on the audio.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? My audio's not going to the right spot.
Please tell me they do the hot dog finger thing.
Oh, God.
Yes.
What's the hot dog finger thing?
Exactly, because the saw is running at 4,000 RPM.
Yikes.
There's a little bit of electricity in the blade, and when it senses skin, in 5 milliseconds, a brake, which is this big aluminum block, comes up and stops the saw dead
before
in 5
milliseconds.
And
I'm not going to test
when that
happens. What the? Look at that.
The saw blade goes from 4,000 RPM.
So you will probably have a small nick, but you'll have a finger. And also, it lowers the saw under the table. Once the brake hits, it also lowers it and shuts the motor off.
Wow.
Now,
it looks like it breaks the brake. Oh, here comes the hot dog.
Here you go.
Yeah, this is so that they don't test it themselves. They're like, look, it works, but we're not going to use our actual fingers.
I have to tell you.
No.
After years on the screensavers and our producer, Paul Block, who really liked to stunt, I could tell you it's a good thing this didn't come out when we were doing the screensavers, because he would have made me do it.
Oh, no.
With my finger.
Oh, what are you kidding me?
He would do anything for ratings. Maybe you don't remember. Remember Yoshi? We had a guy come on with a taser.
No fingers Yoshi, wasn't it?
Well, yes. He tased. He said Yoshi got tased on the show because it's it's spectacle. It's good TV.
Yeah.
And I could guarantee you, Paul would have seen this and gone, "Oh yeah, you're going to do it too, Leo." No way. Yikes.
Yeah. No, you know what? I was on Good Morning America covering it for the Miami Boat Show, and the guy had a canoe with a giant motor in the back and wings that flipped out so that you could row and then take off and fly. And the director said, "So Dick, we want this as your exit. Okay,
Yes.
you'll
fly
away.
out. Sure.
And I'm thinking, is he crazy?
TV, baby.
And fortunately, the sound man said, "Are you crazy? You won't hear a thing. Can you hear that motor?
Yeah,
He
go,
can't do this." And I thought,
Saved by the sound.
yes. And also the inventor had said, Dick, be aware, if the wind is more than 3 miles an hour, you'll be going where the wind goes, not where you want to go.
Remember seeing that? I'm trying to see if I can find it. The morning TV show where the reporter had on one of those jetpacks that you fly with water
in the car or in the water.
Yeah, you remember that? Let me see if I can
what
find
happened?
it. Well, it didn't go well. That's what happened.
My favorite news, while he's looking, my favorite news reporter one is when a woman is going to a place that makes wine and they are actually mashing the grapes.
Oh, yeah, I remember this one. Yeah.
And she decides to cheat by having the other person stop while she quickly smashes the grapes, and then unfortunately falls out of the grape smashing area, and it cuts
got
back.
worse and worse.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was, and then she screamed.
Yeah, she makes some sounds, and they're like, "Oh
Here's
no!"
this is
really
from
not
Channel
okay.
69. I don't know where this is. Fox News. Here we go.
Morning, everybody.
Oh, that's the temperature.
Oh, at a boat show.
Morning news starts.
Yeah.
Look over there. And it starts right now.
And it starts right now. Bump.
That could have been me.
I could just see you. And that's myself. Wow. Well, I'm glad that somebody's got the good sense. But that's TV for you, Dick. Anyway, this song.
Yeah.
So what's the name of this? The saw thing.
Saw stop.
Saw stop.
SWSTOP. Yeah.
And boy, if you're using a table saw, you probably should have this. Do you have to buy their table saw, or is it?
You know what? The woman said. Actually, Chad said that his father had worked as a shop teacher.
Yeah.
And the school bought
Lord.
one of these.
Yes.
And originally you could attach it to a regular saw.
Right.
But I think that's not available anymore.
Oh, so they probably tried to start.
Maybe they couldn't control how well you installed it.
Yeah.
That could be.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. But you know what? For $900, it's not a terribly expensive table saw. And just having that, how much are your fingers?
And it's
worth?
also,
Exactly.
it's very feature laden. I don't use power tools, but, it has a rack and pinion fence and a high-low shelf, things that I
Oh
things
yes,
that I
the
don't know
high-low
about.
shelf and.
I don't know any of that stuff. Yeah.
All I know is it cuts wood. That's
I'll
about
ask
it.
Paris Martin.
And not fingers.
She's taking a woodworking class, so she might know something about this. I'll ask her about it.
Oh, okay.
On This Week in
All right,
Google.
that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's, by the way, I can announce it here.
Yes.
Our new host, Stacey Higginbotham, left us on This Week in Google. She actually left all podcasting to go to work as a policy person at Consumer Reports. We're very proud of Stacey, but it left,
Oh, my gosh.
left a pretty big hole on This Week in Google, and we've been searching, and we found, I think, a great replacement. Nobody will ever replace Stacey, but she's going to be great in her own right. Paris Martineau from The Information is going to be our third. Me, Jeff Jarvis, Ant Pruitt, and now Paris Martineau joining us on This Week in Google.
Great.
And she's a woodworker. Well, I don't know if she's
Will
a
be.
woodworker. She told us she was taking a class, so I'll ask if they have if the saw stop, and if not, stand back.
Yeah.
Stand back. Thank you, Dickie D. Happy birthday.
No, you know what? This is in the mail to you.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it didn't get here in time for the show.
The cover is so good.
Oh, we should
The
mention.
cover is great, isn't
Dick's website is gizwiz.biz, and of course, you're going to go there to find links to the two products you just mentioned. But after you do that, you're going to go to the What the Heck Is It contest. It ends soon. It ends just about a
the
week.
end of October.
Yeah,
and you're
Halloween.
playing for this. You're playing for this Bobby issue.
The Bobby issue. It looks like Barbie to me, but okay, whatever you say, Dick. No, I'm just teasing. Look at that. There's Alfred E. Newman as Ken. That's great. He's a perfect Ken.
And that item is clearly what the heck is it? A peppermint disc holder.
Oh, yes. It's holding a peppermint.
Good guess.
Oh, my
Good
God.
guess.
You gave it away.
I'm
The
sorry,
peppermint's right in there.
Oh.
Either that or it's a peppermint porthole.
It
could be on your peppermint Barbie shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or it's a hypnotist monocle.
Oh.
Yeah, look into my eyes.
That could be because I bought 500 of them.
Oh, no, they got you.
Yeah, the guy said, you want to buy one of these? And
Is that a big
then
hint? Did you just give us a big hint? There are 18 autographed copies of Mad Magazine, up to 6 for the right answer, up to 12 for the best wrong answer. Judges' decisions are final. And you'll win the Mad Magazine with Barbie's dud date Alfred on the cover. Is this clearance sticker actually part of the cover?
No, I love that. I emailed Susie, who puts the cover's original for this issue. The inside are reprints. But I love that clearance sticker because Mad is $5.99, but that sticker just makes it seem so funny.
Oh, that's so clever. It's nice they're doing new covers. I mean, and I like that. You know, honestly, Mad Magazine, the older stuff is the best stuff anyway. So
and new fold-ins.
And new fold-ins. What is your article in this?
Let's see. The Teenage Nitwit Mutant Turtle.
Well, that never gets old. They just got a new movie came out.
Yeah, exactly. So the timing's good. People, if you don't watch the movie too carefully, you could think my satire is the new movie. So.
GizWiz.biz is Dick's website. His podcast, GizWiz.tv, with OMG Chad. Dick, happy birthday.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you in a month.
All right.
Thank you, Dickie D.
Take care.
I'll see you at the Giz Fizz.
We love
Good
the
seeing
Giz.
you, Micah.
Good to see you too.
Right after This Week in Google, every Wednesday, we do the Giz Fizz for club members. If you're not a club member,
you should be.
Do it for Dick. Don't do it for me. Do it for Dick. $7 a month gets you ad-free versions of all the shows, gets you the Discord channel where you can chat, and it gets you special shows just for the club, like this guy here, Dick DeBartolo's Giz Fizz. If you want to see the Giz, I would say $7 a month's worth it just for that. You just go, right? Go to club, join Club Twit at twit.tv/clubtwit. Thank you so much, Dickie D.
Thank you.
Super. Okay, guys. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
All righty.
Is it break time or is it time for?
I feel like it's time for a phone.
Actually, I want to pick up a phone call.
That's fantastic.
It's the wireless caller.
I'm going to pick up Home Frank Kim. That's not the right name, but I'm going to pick up that person.
You going to pick it up or should I?
It's been picked up.
It's been picked up. And now
*6 if you have not.
Hello, Kim or Frank. Which is it? I'm guessing it's Frank.
Hello.
Hey, Frank, where are you calling from?
Hey, ask me again. I'm sorry. I was just learning how to unmute.
Where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Nebraska.
All right.
Welcome to the show.
The Cornhusker
I have
State.
an issue. You got it. You got it. I've been listening to you for a lot of years. I'm about the same age as you are, so I'm not near as tech savvy. So you got to bear with me here.
Longest drive I ever took was Route 80 through Nebraska. There's a lot of corn in Nebraska. It never ended. It was a long trip.
Yeah, but if you get off I-80, there's a whole lot of other country you could see, and you wouldn't know you're in the same state.
I bet. Yeah. All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What's your question?
Oh, no problem. Hey, I enjoy the BS. I just don't want to take up your important time here. I have an issue.
Hey, we have a show title.
Oh, yeah, you do. There you go. No BS, right? Okay. I got a problem I'm sure you've never had before, and I wish I knew I had a solution for it. I have a Philips DVR. You know, I live out in the country, so I get over the air, so I record that way. You know, it's got a hard drive in it. And it's probably 12, 14 years old.
Yeah.
But the issue I have with it is the remote control. I have to put it in the refrigerator to get it to work.
What?
I told you it was unique.
I love this.
Let me ask, does it have replaceable
to work when it's cold and not warm?
Yeah, that's interesting. The batteries normally, does it have replaceable batteries in it?
It does. I've replaced the batteries. I've done everything under the sun. And
Leo,
it's getting worse as it gets older. I first discovered it by accident.
Thank you. I needed to know this. How did you know to do this? That's what I needed to know.
Well, let me just put this in the freezer.
Yeah, well, I do that now. No, I hope this isn't a too sensitive conversation. Since I live in the country, I can go outside to do certain things. Well, once when I was struggling with it and couldn't get to work, I put it in my pocket and went outside.
And it worked when you came back because it was winter. Wow.
Exactly. So I started experimenting.
But I have to say, that's very
put it in the refrigerator, and it worked.
Very astute of you to say.
For a while, it would work when it was cooler. Just cooler weather here in the house, but now it's getting to be it's refrigerator. When I pull it out of the refrigerator or the freezer, it works instantly. It works great for a couple minutes until it warms up enough, and then the remote absolutely will not work.
So there are some cases where stuff won't work unless it gets warm. We call that a cold solder, where there's a solder joint that wasn't properly done, but when it gets hot, really hot, and kind of remelts it works. It makes the connection. But cold, that's an interesting one.
Sounds like a busted cap.
I'm going to say it's a capacitor, right?
Yeah, so it's like leaking probably, and then when you cool it, it's probably hardening again.
Okay. And this is not uncommon.
You guys were my last resort. I spent hours on the internet and everything else and can't find an answer.
If you search for bad capacitor, you'll see there was a period of time when there were a lot of motherboards and other devices with poorly manufactured capacitors, and they'd start to leak, or they'd fail. Now, let me think about this. You're not going to be able to open up the remote. By the way, that was Benito. We missed you, Benito.
Yeah,
welcome back.
Thank you.
Because he's the busted cap guy. So, you probably can't desolder that cap and replace it, though, right? That's the problem. I mean,
could you?
Probably not. I can. I have not. I can take the remote apart.
Here's what I would do.
Take the cover off and
get on eBay. In fact, it looks like Scooter X has already found you a replacement on eBay.
Wow. Even this old machine, huh?
Yeah. This is $175 for the whole thing.
Oh.
But I wonder if you could just find the remote by itself. It's probably a bad capacitor on the remote. And when it's chilled, it works again.
Because isn't it the difference of the metal expanding or contracting based on the temperature, right?
Yeah, well, a capacitor, the way capacitors work, they have liquids inside. What a capacitor does is it stores electricity. It's like a little battery in a way, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, another good idea. Another good idea is to get a programmable remote and replace that old one by programming the functions into a programmable remote. So you put the remote in the freezer and then let it chill down and get the new one ready. And there's a button that says program it. And take it out of the freezer and press the start. The power on button, program that. You can power all the buttons that you use a lot. Gear. Yeah. I think you need to replace the remote, in other words. Once a capacitor goes bad, it's only going to get worse. In fact, it is, right? You have to chill it more each time, right?
It is. It is. And I probably should just replace it. But this is getting hard to find for us. Us old people live out in the country and just have TV antennas, decent DVRs where...
Nobody makes them for over the air. There are still some OTA DVRs from other companies that are new. If that Philips dies on you, a Channel Master makes some really excellent DVRs for over the air, specifically for this. I think they may be one of the last companies that are still doing that. Channel Master.
Yep. No, there's not too many. Or some of them, they're just a little teeny tiny box that look kind of like a Roku or something.
Like this. I'm not sure. That's the Silicon Dust HD Home Run. Yeah, and it records on, that's kind of an interesting one because you can use that one box to connect to your antenna, and then it puts it out over your network, your internet, your LAN, so you can watch TV everywhere in the house on that one connection to the internet. That's from Silicon Dust, the HD Home Run. In between 1999 and 2007, which is exactly, by the way, when you bought that Philips DVR, I'm going to guess, there was a effect.
You're right. I'm sure it's probably that old. Time goes by faster the older we get, as you know.
Wikipedia has an article called Capacitor Plague. A higher than expected failure rate of non-solid aluminum electrolytic capacitors between 1999 and 2007 due to faulty electrolyte composition that caused corrosion. So this happened to a lot of motherboards. Ultimately could cause a fire. I think you don't have to worry about it because you're battery powered, so you're not putting a lot of voltage through that thing.
Right.
But
not too much in that
I think Benito nailed this one.
I think you're right. It makes sense because of all the other things I've tried to think and try to research. That does make sense. And I guess my first instinct on that was, usually things when they expand, you get, from heat, you get one. But if they're liquid and the cooling, creates a problem or corrosion, like you said.
Here, the 7 symptoms of a bad capacitor. Problems turning on. This is from upgradedhome.com. A burning smell from your unit. That would be more like an AC. Random shutoffs, delayed AC actions, no cold air. This is all for an air conditioner. Higher energy bills, no voltage. But, of course, in a remote control, you'd get some of the same intermittent symptoms, and cooling it down might make that capacitor work for a little while, but in the long run, I think you're going to have to get a universal remote and replace it.
And that's what I'm going to do.
By the way,
that's the best because the DVR works great yet.
Here's an answer from ChatGPT. Wow. User 5205 asked Chat. Maybe I should ask ChatGPT. That's it. That's interesting. What did you? Why is? I seem to have a a problem here. What did you ask your ChatGPT? I wonder what the prompt was. Let me try it. My remote control stops working, but when I bring it outside to the cold air, it starts working again. Why? Let's see what ChatGPT has.
Interesting observation. There could be a few reasons why your remote control behaves this way.
Oops, I turned it down. Yeah, she thought a battery too. Oh, crumb. This wants to do an SOS call. Never mind. I'll read what user 5205 came up with. Some remote controls have this is another solution, by the way. Rubber or silicone button membranes beneath the buttons. These membranes can degrade or become less responsive over time. Cooling the remote can temporarily improve the electrical conductivity of the materials and make the buttons work more effectively. So maybe that's it. Now, remember, ChatGPT is just making stuff up.
Right. So who knows?
But actually, that kind of makes sense.
In a way, you could wonder, perhaps the silicone, the contact on the back of the silicone that needs to touch the contact on the chip itself, something there has degraded. And then that's the part where it's just kind of like hand wavy. And because of cold, then the connections will be better.
Well, maybe, I don't know.
Exactly. I don't know.
And I guess I probably should have. The very first thing I did before I found out it was cold was to take, because it's easy to take apart 4 screws, because that was my first thought, was those connections on that silicone pad were bad, but it didn't make any difference.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good to know then.
Yeah. Oh,
so it's got to be the capacitor. I'm really comfortable.
I'm liking that answer.
Solution,
and then you're not going to be able to really fix that because it's a little circuit board in there, and you're not going to desolder the capacitor and replace it. Although you could, it might be a fun project.
Every time I touch one of them, it's a disaster anyway.
But you could just get a universal remote and program it while that thing is still working.
Yeah, before it goes all the way out. And you have to, I don't know, send it to space to get it to work.
Hey, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Has winter come to Nebraska? Really has winter come to Nebraska yet, or?
Nope, not yet. We've had a couple freezes, but we've also been close to 90s the last few days. So it's just kind of one of those up and down.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Frank, a real pleasure. Thanks for calling us, and a great question. I love that.
It was a fun question.
I love that, and he gave us a show title.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Take care, Frank.
Thank you.
Our show today,
I enjoy the BS.
I enjoy. What should the title be? No more BS? It's all BS.
I enjoy the BS.
I enjoy the
that's
BS.
What Frank actually said was,
all
I
right.
enjoy the
I
BS.
like that. Our show today brought to you by our friends at IT Pro TV. They're now called ACI Learning. You probably know this because everywhere all over the studio it says ACI Learning. They are our studio sponsors for 2023. And if you have an IT team that you're trying to keep up to date, there is no better way than ACI Learning. ACI Learning kept all the fun and the personality of IT Pro TV, but they have now amplified it with robust solutions for all your training needs. You want to get training your team's going to enjoy because they're more likely to do it. In fact, one of the things that's great about ACI Learning, they have an 80% completion rate on their videos, which is 50% higher than the industry average. You know this. You've seen this other training that's boring and slow and badly paced and badly done. Not ACI Learning. Their instructors are pros in the field, so they're really working professionals who are passionate, who love the topic, and their passion and engagement and their fun communicates. And so your people, your team, will be thrilled to get this training. They'll be entertained while they train. It's short-form content, 20 to 30 minutes, so they can do it on a lunch break or while they're going to work and that kind of thing. And there are now 7,200 hours of on-demand shows to choose from. Every possible topic. I mean, we're talking Microsoft Cloud, AWS. We're talking CompTIA. We're talking everything you'd want your team to know. Cybersecurity, you bet. ACI Learning has expanded IT Pro's capacity so they can do more, give you more. They've got 7 studios running Monday through Friday all day to create new content, so it's always up to date. One proud tech team leader said, quote, I had 110 engineers in the field. We had dozens of IT Pro accounts. Last year alone, they passed over 40 certs, 40 new certs. Wouldn't you like your team to be making that kind of progress? And guess what? Your team wants to, too. Teams also love the practice labs. Of course, it's a great way to use any computer with an HTML5 browser, even a Chromebook, to set up, configure Windows servers, to configure clients, that kind of thing. But you can also use it to experiment and test before you deploy new apps or updates. See how it would work on that system before you deploy it to a live system. And the practice exams at ACI Learning are a great way to prepare for your certification tests. You could take the test before you take the test, so you know what to expect. You know you've got the knowledge. You go in with the confidence. That's going to get you the best possible score. They've got a new tool, too, that you will want to use with your team called Insights, powered by the magic of AI to identify your team's weaknesses. It'll give management and individuals valuable assessments. It'll assist you in your professional development planning. It'll identify skill gaps. It'll empower your team. You can personalize your training so nobody's learning something they already know, and they're all learning stuff they need to know. IT Pro TV is now ACI Learning. You're going to get the most up-to-date certifications and the courses available. You've got a personal account manager who will help you make sure you're not wasting your time or money. The account manager works with you to make sure the team only focuses on the skills that matter. No more redundant training. And, of course, ACI Learning is ISO certified, so you know you're getting the world-class training your team deserves. Keep your IT team up with the speed of technology. Visit go.acilearning.com/twit. Twit listeners, you'll get a free trial. And, man, the discounts up to 65% off an IT Pro Enterprise Solution Plan. Discounts based on the size of the team. So fill out the form, get the quote, find out how much you're going to save. But I guarantee you, this is the training you want and the training your team wants. Go.acilearning.com/twit. That's the website. Go.acilearning.com/twit. We thank them so much for all their support for Ask the Tech Guys and all of our shows. We've been playing with this Chat GPT. I've been having so much fun. Mm-hmm. Oh, she was listening to that whole ad.
My favorite.
Oh my goodness! I wonder what she thinks.
While it processes, my favorite new feature is that ChatGPT can take your prompts for DALL-E and then turn them into something that will make the best prompt for DALL-E.
So you can customize your graphics prompt. Oh, she's still listening. Let's see what what is
Interesting you're saying she.
Well, listen to her.
Well, because, as opposed to it.
Well, listen to her. She sounds just like Scarlett Johansson. You wouldn't call...
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Our systems are experiencing heavy load. Please try again later.
Plus, you just sent me 7 minutes and 10 seconds of nonsense.
Did you see that article?
Oh, she did say investing in a universal remote is a practical solution.
There you go.
Yeah.
She got that from us, though. See, now you've got me saying she. It got that from us, though, probably from listening to us say.
Yeah, she's got the whole conversation with Frank on here. Wow. I love this, though, because you're right. I know it's a machine.
Yeah.
And it's not even a very bright machine.
It's
if
a
it
dim.
sounds like Scarlett Johansson, that's pretty cool.
Mine's a guy. I've got mine as a
You wanted to have a guy?
Yeah.
She sounds like a depressed Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. A little low, what is that?
Low energy?
Yeah, but there's another, low adrenaline. Low adrenaline.
Do you suffer from low adrenaline?
Must. Taken a while.
I'm just a digital assistant, so I don't have emotions, feelings, or physiological responses like adrenaline. However, I can provide information on adrenaline and its effects.
See, this is the problem I have with it. It's gassy. It keeps on going.
Yeah.
They should stop at that first sentence.
It does
But then it goes on for another 8 paragraphs about adrenaline. I didn't ask it about adrenaline. I asked it about her. Anyway, her. Just like the movie. All right, moving on. Who should we talk to next?
Let's go with J Ohio G.
J in the G, J to the G in the Ohio of the G of the J of the Ohio. J Ohio G. Ohio. Am I supposed to do something?
No, I got it. Jay, if you're joining us.
J to the G to the Ohio. Ohio.
Hello.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, how's it going?
It's good. How are you?
Doing pretty good.
We're in Ohio.
Sorry. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Hiya.
Yes, thank you.
That's okay.
Thank you. Poor Micah. So often left out.
No, I was going to say, I really like your voice, Jay.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. I'm actually right now outside of Cincinnati, Ohio.
Nice.
A little northeast.
I love Cincy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of interested in checking out the chili. I was born in Ohio, but I've never been able to really enjoy some of these other.
You've never had Cincinnati chili?
No.
Wow.
No.
It's not very good. They put cinnamon in it. It's different if you're used to regular normal chili. And then you can get it one way, 2 way, 3 ways, whether it's got beans and onions and spaghetti and
spaghetti in the chili?
That's 5 way, yeah.
I've heard. I'm not saying I'm not going to turn it down, but I am interested in trying new foods. That's why I love traveling, but I don't know if the spaghetti is really my cup of tea, but I'm going to have to try it.
You got to go to Skyline, get the Skyline chili. 3, 4, or 5 way. There it is. It's good. It's just it's not like other chili in the rest of the world.
It's just not like other.
It's
chili.
a little cinnamony. It's interesting. Anyway, I you know what? Let's go out and have some. What can we do for you, Jay?
Well, first I do have a response.
You like the
Micah,
BS?
You and
I'm sorry.
Actually, great title. I can't wait to see it on the podcast. But Micah, you had a message that came in. I guess it was an email of a person who wanted to take pictures with their phone and have it automatically documented with the time and date on the photo itself.
Yeah. I remember that.
Of course, that was some times back, but I heard it when I was on vacation. On my flight home from my cruise, I realized I do have an app just like that.
Oh.
It's called OpenCam.
OpenCam. Okay.
Yes. And there's an option in the photo settings, saying, timestamp photo.
Interesting.
So you use that instead as your camera. Is this it? Mark Harmon, Open Camera? Is this it?
Yes, Mark Harmon, yes.
So so that's a setting. That's actually a great solution, and it's been updated. It was updated in August of this year, so it's fairly recent. And I can see, you could even see right here the timestamp that it's put on there. That's cool.
Awesome. Thank you for this.
What a good solution. Where did you go on your cruise?
Carnival Mardi Gras to, actually, you know what? I need my wife here for this because all I know is I had great fun, lots of food, and Puerto Rico was the first stop.
Oh, I love that. Oh, so it was a Caribbean. It was Western Caribbean.
Yes, Puerto Rico and Grand Turk and another stop.
Oh, how fun! Oh, isn't that fun?
Yeah. I do have one other question though.
Yes.
You got me interested when you're talking about the My Leo program.
Yes.
And I love photography. It's kind of my passion project, but I also love to keep the raw files. And I've always had problems with one kind of like an online data manager or basically backup service that will do the raw files at a reasonable cost. But also I was interested, is there anything under Linux that is like MyLeo, or is there a way to use MyLeo on Ubuntu?
I've talked to MyLeo. I said, guys, you got to make a Linux version for me and JG over here. So you're primarily Linux?
Yes.
Yeah. No, they don't currently have a Linux version, and so that is an issue. Of course, you can keep it on your phone. I'm sure you have iOS or Android as a phone, and it works on both of those. What would I use? This is the problem. When Picasa went away, there really weren't any great... We call this category DAM, Digital Asset Management.
DAM.
And all photographers need a system, a DAM system, because you have a lot of photos, and among other things, you want to pick the ones that are the best, prioritize those. You want to be able to scan through them. If you do a wedding, you want to be able to scan through all the shots and go, that one is a 3-star, that's a 5-star, quickly and easily. And then you want to be able to edit them. And a good digital asset management solution will do all that. By the way, I don't even, there's so many features in MyLeo. They have a great ranking system that is fast and easy. One click, or one tap of the button, so you can really do that. That's a great darkroom, maybe, I don't know, I don't know of a good DAM for Linux, actually.
Yeah, I know. I've looked at, I think it's Darktable you're referring to.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, I looked at Darktable, and to me, it seems so powerful for photo editing. I never really got a chance to really do it for management, because I'll just do folders and label the folder, and then inside that folder, of course, either the time and date or the location that I was taking pictures at, whether it's California or New York or Texas, and maybe something for Thanksgiving with all the photos from there.
You see here this shot of the interface where you can give it stars. It does, and you can categorize them. It is. I think they're trying to make a Lightroom clone, basically.
Yeah. Joe is actually suggesting that you could use Lightroom on the web.
No. Don't go. Let's not go crazy here. Let's not be insane. No, I think Darktable is probably the tool I would recommend. It's the one I've used for years. Yeah, there's a dark room on Mac OS, and I always confuse it too. But Darktable is very mature. It's in active development. They've done a great job. It does RAW, and depending on whose RAWs you're using, it does a very good job of interpreting it. I've always been impressed by Darktable, which, by the way, is available, I think, on Mac and Windows as well. It's a really interesting. They say it's a workflow application and RAW developer. So maybe it isn't tuned to be a digital asset management tool. I think maybe you're right. Folders and all of that might be the way you end up doing it. I really wish there were something, there were a MyLeo on Linux, because that's the way to do it. And they're a sponsor, we should mention.
Okay.
So I don't, other than the Darktable, I don't have any other recommendations. That's the one.
Okay.
I like. Yeah.
Well, look, I appreciate it. Thank you for giving my 15 seconds of fame, and y'all take care.
Thank you
JG,
for calling
call
in.
back.
Yeah.
We love talking to you. Where are you going next?
Right,
Where are you going next?
I'm a truck driver, so I'm on a delivery just around the corner from here, and I'm gonna probably go back to North Carolina.
Oh, nice. All right. And then in your travels, do you have a plan? You know, because when you get off a cruise, there's nothing more depressing. Like vacation's over. I need where's my next meal going to come from? I'm going to have to make it. So I always plan my next trip before so I know I have something to look forward to. Have you planned your next trip yet?
Yeah, what I do, I'm a glass hauler, so I pretty much have a dedicated route almost. But a lot of the places I've been to before, so I know where to stop, I know where to park, I know when they're going to unload me. So
that's why you haven't had Cincinnati chili. You don't have time.
Yeah, you got to get to the next place.
So what do you say glass? What do you mean glass? Like panes of glass?
Basically, yeah. What I carry is, I wish I had my trailer with me, but I'm going to the gym today. I have a free day today.
Nice.
But what I carry is from the manufacturer to the people who will cut it down, make windows and doors and mirrors out of.
What an interesting specialty.
Yeah, because you
have to drive really careful.
Yeah. yeah, a little careful than not. Yes, yeah.
That's very cool.
Of course, of course,
and
you talk to
from
Sam.
now on, when somebody tells me to haul glass, I'll think of you, JG.
Thank you. What I will say is, you talk to Sam, and I know I listen to him because of you, and he talks about potholes in Michigan. Glass can't handle the potholes if you do it right. So, it takes a little bit of a skill, if you will.
Skill.
That's terrifying.
I know. I'd be like,
yeah.
Oh, no, you're making me go through Michigan.
Have you ever lost a load of glass?
That is a good question.
Not a full load, but I've had to dump off a few pieces, yes.
Oh.
Can you hear it when it's going? Can you hear smashing glass in the back?
Yes. Just like you probably heard it in all the cartoons and movies, you know what glass sounds like, and whether it's a crack or it's a whole load up and off. Yeah, you're going to turn heads and kind of worry it's not on you.
Oof! I can imagine my face just immediately going. If that happens.
How much fun to talk to you, JG. Thank you for calling. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, take it easy, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I wonder if his business card says I haul glass.
It should.
It should.
It's good.
It should. I'm going to do this. My rotator cuff is really
I was about to say, you need to kind of stretch that rotator cuff a little bit out. Yeah, there you go. Good form. 7 out of 10.
You ever do that? You're on a date and you go,
only as a joke.
I remember in the old days when I was a young man.
That was the way?
That was the way.
Just a little stretch.
All righty. Let's see. iPhone 15 Pro Max camera assessment. This is Mike from Orlando, Florida.
Hello, Mike.
I would like an assessment of the camera, the lenses, and the quality of the images. I've watched many videos from what I consider reputable photographers. Some like it a lot. Some think it's garbage.
Okay.
Wow. What do you think compared to past iPhone cameras? I'm very happy with the iPhone. I have a 15 Pro Max, as you do too. And I think it's gorgeous. Now, I just got also the Pixel 8 Pro, which is Google's latest. And I would say, and DxO Mark might agree that maybe the Pixel 8 is a little bit better, but neither.
With Google's computational photography as well.
And I think you nailed it. That's why some photographers don't like these. Explain what that is.
So computational photography is this idea that we take what is actually there and then we augment it. We make it look better. We make slight adjustments to it. We make changes to it that are blanketed under this term AI, right? And it is I think for the average person, it is a thing that you see and you go, I love this, because it's trying to make a photograph for you that in general ways is a very pleasing photo. But a photographer, a person who is looking with their eyes and is trying to capture something exactly as it is, who takes a photograph and has the computational photography magic happen, they see a photo that is not what they expect. They see a photo that has been taken and made in effect fake because it has these additional changes made to it. And I think that's the difference at the heart of what Apple is doing and what Google is doing. And honestly, on the Google side, I think it ends up being a thing that pleases more consumers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and I think the weak third is Samsung, which really over photo processes.
Yeah.
And you might hear a lot of photographers saying they don't like how the Samsung looks. But remember, these camera phones are not made for the same audience as a professional photographer. You wouldn't shoot a wedding with a camera phone,
right?
And you want more control, and that's why you would use a professional digital camera. But most people who are using smartphone cameras are, doing it for Instagram, right?
And that's the thing too, is that so many of us are taking photographs in what actual professional photographers would call low light settings, because a lot of us are taking photos indoors, and even just being indoors, even with lights turned on in a space, still ends up being what is technically low light. And so you think about having these photographs that if we were taking them with a professional camera, even if we bumped up the ISO and we did this and did that without more lighting, it's gonna look pretty grainy and bad. What our cameras are able to do, though, our phone cameras are able to do, is take something that is in a low light and make it look better, like some photos that you took recently.
This is when I was in Rhode Island, we had an amazing hamburger. Now, I was actually testing the camera. This is the iPhone 14 or 15 Pro Max, because it was very dim. Now, you have to hold the camera steady, but for instance, look at the background, look at the lights, the bokeh on this was gorgeous. This is not portrait mode. The detail is crisp. It looks delicious. Oops, and it just went dark. But it is designed for Instagram. It's designed so that I don't have to think about it. If I probably could take a better picture with a fancy camera, but I need a tripod. I might need some lighting. I would have to know a lot about which lens I'm using. I would have to set it carefully, and I'd probably get a bunch of bad images. I just took this on the fly and quickly. So it depends on what you're doing. Now, I will show you DxOMark's current camera reviews. And right now, their favorite camera is the Huawei P60 Pro. I'm having trouble with my connection here, so let me because that's why it went dark. The P60 Huawei, I don't even know, can you get this in the United States? It came out in the spring. Then the number 2 camera, that had 156 points for the camera. The number 2 camera is the iPhone 15 Pro Max, 154 points. And then 1 point lower, the Google Pixel 8 Pro. But now, a lot of people will say, well, that's DxOMark. I mean, they sell software. Are they good? I mean,
right.
It is such a subjective thing. No objective number is going to capture that. Is the iPhone 1 point better than the Pixel 8? What does that even mean?
What does that mean? And if 2 people say that the photos are garbage,
right,
and 6 people say that the photos are the best they've seen, what does that even mean? I think it really does boil down to what you think. You have to look at the photographs and see if you like the way that the photographs look. And the fact is, no one can capture every specific situation that you would be in and be able to show you how you might make adjustments to it. I really do think that at this point, so much of it boils down to personal taste, whether it's capturing a photo that you are happy with. I'm very happy with this phone camera, the ability that it has, and I love how the photos look, but I also understand how someone might look at them and feel like it's not taking what a professional camera would do. Yeah, we know that. It's not supposed to be a DSLR. It's not a classic 35 millimeter lens camera. It's just capable of capturing photographs in a similar way.
But I would say it's very, very capable for the market it's aimed at. Either the Pixel 8 or the iPhone 15 really give you great images. And frankly, I would include the Samsung S23 Ultra as well. I think all the camera you need, basically. And the only reason to use a bigger professional camera is because you want more control. You want to do different things that the camera can't do. And I think some professional photographers don't like the iPhone because it makes decisions for you.
Right.
But 99% of the time, it's the decision you want.
That should be made, yeah.
Yeah. So I would not hesitate. If you're in the market for a new phone, you want a good camera, the iPhone 15 is Pro or Pro Max is fantastic. I think they've done a great job. How much better is it than the 14? This much.
Right. And what does that mean? Who knows? How much is this really?
Is it that or this? So it's not, I would say, so much better. It's a little better. It's not so much better that you should give up the iPhone 14. In fact, it's really only one area that it's better, which is the 5X zoom. But so the 14 is fine. If you're on an iPhone 10, get the 15 if you can afford it. That's all. All right. As they say in the streets,
Do we want to take that question from the chat?
How do I get ChatGPT on my phone like Leo and Micah?
Yeah, you have to be a subscriber.
20 freaking bucks a month.
So you have to be a fool,
well,
like us.
Yeah, but we do it so you can benefit.
Yes.
It's really, I have to say, having played with it a lot.
I have too, and I quite like having it there.
It's a toy.
Yeah.
Do you find it useful?
It depends.
It's an expensive toy.
It's an okay, yes, it's an expensive fidget. No, I have found, but it is okay. Right now, I'm coming to terms with what you're saying, and it is true. When I look back on the different things that I've used it for, almost every instance it was just for play. I did mention the one time that I used it for information that I actually needed, but I went and checked fact checked that information because I needed to make sure it wasn't coming up with something that was fake. So, yeah, in that way, it is a toy.
Yeah, because if you can't trust it.
Yeah, if you can't trust it, then it's a toy. It's a fun toy, but it is a toy.
Now, they recently added this feature to talk back to you. That's a new feature. And the feature to get DALL-E, they've added what they call multi-mode, where you can put a picture in there as well as a text. I like that. I didn't know it could give me DALL-E prompts.
Yeah.
DALL-E comes from OpenAI as well.
Exactly,
so it's their own product.
And instead of going, because if you go to DALL-E on the web and you type in something, 9 times out of 10, at least has been my experience, you get not a great photo. But if you do it through ChatGPT, what ChatGPT does is it takes your response. So maybe I say, I want a photograph of a podcaster dressed as a pumpkin. And it will take what I say and it will turn it into something that will produce a better result from DALL-E. And when I've used it this way, it looks so much better. Unfortunately, if you do it on the app, it does not reveal what the prompt is. You have to do it on the web to actually see what prompt it has written for you. But that has been one of my favorite new additions there. And I will say that there is one place where it is not served as a toy, and that is anytime I have an article or a PDF or something that I want to have like quick summarization of, it's very handy for that. I can feed it a URL and say, can you give me the bullet points of this, and get back kind of the base. And that there, it's not so much a toy as it is a very handy feature to have.
I'm here on ChatGPT. Like I said, you can use it for free in a limited way, but I'm on ChatGPT at OpenAI. I've clicked ChatGPT 4. So I can give it a picture here?
Do the drop down for GPT-4 up at the top, and then choose DALL-E at the bottom.
Oh, DALL-E 3. Okay.
Yeah. And then now just tell it something that you want it to make.
Okay. Do I have to say a prompt, like anything, or just say?
So for example, I want a high detail illustration of
high
blank.
Detail illustration of what?
Oh, what about five level chili or whatever it was?
Yeah. Cincinnati Skyline chili 5 ways. All right. So now is it going to draw something for me?
Well, first it's going to take what you just said, and it's going to essentially translate it into something that DALL-E is going to better understand.
This is going to be a good test, because is it going to give me 5 different ways of Skyline chili, or is it going to give me Skyline chili in 5 ways?
5 ways,
5-way chili.
And that's where the beauty of using ChatGPT is the filter comes into play, where if you just went to OpenAI's DALL-E directly and type that in, it's going to give you a different answer.
It says it's creating an image.
Yes, so it is basically accessing its own API with DALL-E 3.
Okay.
And it is, quote unquote, chatting with DALL-E 3 And
oh my God.
This is what it returns.
Here are the illustrations of Cincinnati Skyline chili served 5 ways.
And notice how they've capitalized it. So they did recognize.
They knew. I hope they capture the essence of the dish you have in mind. Let me know if you need any further modifications. Well, I'm hungry. What's nice is they put the skyline of Cincinnati behind it.
In the background.
And they did the 5 ways right. We've got your beans. We've got your, I don't know what the white thing is. Beans, that would be beans, onions.
Oh, maybe the
cheese.
white is the onion.
Maybe that's the onion. This is pretty, looks tasty. And look, there's Cincinnati on the placemat, or there's Cincinnati in the background. I guess it doesn't know skyline. Look, what is that? Tomatoes, green onions, and white sugar cubes. I don't know what the cubes are.
Yeah, they do look like ice cubes.
Yeah, what is, that's a mystery. They're in all of the images.
And what's cool here, too, is that you can then say something like, I don't like the white cubes in that. Can you change it?
Okay.
And it will take that. Yeah, so you can X out of that.
Okay. I don't like the white cubes. I'm not going to ask if it can. I'm going to tell it. Replace them with sliced onions, right?
Yeah.
Or chopped onions.
Chopped onions, yeah.
Okay. We're cooking up a dish here. Let's see. I don't.
And now it's going to generate.
So it remembers a previous prompt as well. So that's kind of nice.
Yep. And it will take that prompt and run with it to create.
When I was a new father, I used to try. I knew this was part of my job to tell my children bedtime stories. I don't know why, but I lack an imagination. So they were terrible. Oh. I made up stories about a clown named Bobo who lived in a circus train with Sally and Johnny, the 2 children, and they would go from town to town, and there was always some adventure.
Uh-huh.
And so I thought, you know what? I should. So I'm sitting there with my daughter. I said, I bet ChatGPT could do a better job than me. And it did.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, did it?
So from now on, so it has replaced, it says...
Okay, it's got a whole wedge of cheese in that case, and then some onions.
I made the modifications and replaced the white cubes with chopped onions. I hope these better match your vision. I don't know, but I'm getting hungry now.
The white cubes
still
are
some white cubes on that one.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is the old one. Sorry. I clicked the wrong. Or no.
No, those are the new. Yeah. So they still have white cubes in some cases.
That one's a good one with the cheese.
I love the
chunk.
cheese wedge.
Cheesehead. That's just what they look like, cheeseheads. That looks pretty good.
Cool, with the little onions, yeah.
This,
I like
what's
that.
This? What is this thing? Beans?
Looks like, yeah.
Corn?
Like brown baked beans or something. But that is a fun illustration.
Now, here's the point. What are you going to do with that?
Right.
But if you were like a company called Skyline Chili, or you wanted to be like, this would be the beginning of the illustration you might use in your ad. It's a jumping off point.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty good.
I just had a thought.
Yeah?
You know what people are going to be able to see soon?
What's that?
It could be a great prompt. 5 podcasters try to escape from a wizard-themed escape puzzle. We're going to be doing an escape room with Club Twit, and you can all tune in this Thursday if you are members of Club Twit at twit.tv/clubtwit.
Thursday? Oh, my God.
This coming Thursday.
I do have a wizard hat.
Oh,
I will
good.
bring out the wizard. Should I dress like a wizard?
I am planning on...
Or are we being trapped by a wizard?
I think we're being trapped by a wizard.
So we have to get out. But I guess if
You
I
can
dress
dress
like a
however you
wizard,
want.
I might trick the wizard into letting me out.
But yes, if you are a member of Club Twit, then you will get to see this. If you're not,
If you
should
enjoyed the
join.
BS, you'll really like this.
$7 a month, $84 a year at twit.tv/clubtwit. When you sign up, you're going to get to tune in this Thursday to watch that escape room, which will be a lot of fun. But you also get access to a lot of other stuff as well. First and foremost, every single Twit show with no ads. It's just the content. You'll gain access to the Club Twit bonus feed that has extra content you won't find anywhere else, behind the scenes, before the show, after the show, and those events get published there afterward, and access to the members-only Discord server, which is a fun place to go to chat with your fellow Club
And it's
Twit
going to
members.
look
And those of us here at
exactly
Twit-
like
this is what it'll look like in the escape room.
By the way, notice it added 5 diverse podcasters.
I love that it is diverse.
It added some diversity to... Ooh. That's cool. Wait a minute. Why does she have a white beard? Oh, is that Jeff Jarvis?
It's Jeff Jarvis.
They're all bearded. The bearded.
If you're a podcaster,
society.
you must.
Oh man, these are great.
Aren't these cool? And if you went to DALL-E itself and type, it doesn't have headphones. But if you try to type this in,
these guys have headphones.
There's the prompt on the side.
Yeah.
So that's
so
what it
I
wrote
could
for
copy
you.
that and then give it to DALL-E 3. Would it be different?
It should show up similar to what you're seeing here.
Okay.
But see, if I went to the website and typed in the prompt that we actually wrote, remember that it took your prompt that you wrote and turned it into
this is
those
a better
prompts.
prompt,
Yeah,
isn't it?
That's the whole point of using ChatGPT. ChatGPT comes up with a better prompt for DALL-E to get a better image in the end.
Well, I should save these and give them to our production team because I bet they could use this.
Yes, you can use it as a template almost.
Yeah. These are fun.
Aren't these cool?
Yeah. But again, it's a trick. It's a game.
Yes, it is.
By the way,
It's a
there are
toy.
some women in some of these. There's a woman, 2 women in that one. And this one has some women, 1 woman. So this is I think it's fantastic. There will be women when we do this because Lisa's going to join us. You're going to do it. I'm going to do it. Lisa's going to do it. Is Ant coming?
I think Ant's
going
be
to
there,
come.
yeah.
Is Jason Howell coming?
Jason is unavailable.
It has to be 6 people exactly.
Yeah, I can't remember the 6, but there will be 6 there. Join Club
That's
Twit.
fun.
So
Thursday.
so you can see it.
3 p.m.
Twit.tv
Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern.
/Club Twit.
Let's take another call. This has been so much fun. That's ChatGPT. And again, it's just a toy.
It's a toy. Yeah.
It's not, but if you had to create something, it's a starting point. I think it's a good use for it is as a starting point for you to create something, or perhaps as a prompt to stimulate your creative thinking. It's
That's what
great
it's
at
been for me.
synthesizing a bunch of content into something you can digest. There are certain things it's very good with. Should I ask it for a recipe for Cincinnati chili?
I forgot. The protein smoothie that I have almost every day was generated by ChatGPT.
No.
I kid you not. A long time ago, I said I would like a high-protein smoothie recipe that also includes a good amount of fiber and nutrients, and
it's good.
And it's good. It's
Holy cow!
The chia seeds was the secret there. With fiber and nutrients.
Yeah, and if you let it sit for a while, they expand.
Yeah,
they get gooey.
They do get gooey.
Real quick, actually,
Yes.
before we take another call, do you mind taking one last quick break?
Okay,
we can do that.
And we're done with the break. I see Susan, who's called in the pads. I think we should probably pick up on Susan.
Listener
Oh,
Susan.
yeah, she's the Save a Memory gal. I know Susan. Hi, Susan. I just pulled you up and you just press *6 as you know. And I'm going to ask for a recipe for Skyline chili.
Hello, guys.
Hi, Susan.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Hopefully this is an easy question because you guys do it every single day. I am looking for a way to, and I should say I'm from Longmont, Colorado, and thank you for choosing me. I am looking for a way, as I move forward with my business, I want to create some videos and I want to be able to show the display on my iPad and my iPhone. And you guys do it all day long. And I'm just wondering what hardware and software could I use? I usually use Zoom when I'm recording. I also have Camtasia and I have the full Adobe suite. So the recording part I've got. But I'm looking for a way to easily display my iPhone or my iPad so I can show people how to use various apps, including Mylio, because I am a Mylio certified consultant.
You
for
are?
them. So
Oh, okay.
I am.
Oh,
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
It sounds like you're on Windows, yes?
I am ambidextrous, but my home environment is all Apple at this point. So I'm currently sitting at an iMac Pro.
Okay, that's good news because if it was a Windows, and I was going to suggest using what is it? OBS. That's
OBS Studio.
Yeah, OBS Studio will let you pull in the video.
Other devices.
Yeah, but if you are on the Mac, you can't go wrong with eCamm Live. And the reason why I suggest this is because I've seen other tools that try to show your iPhone or your iPad screen, and there's always some lag. There's not it's not as smooth, and it doesn't work as well and as easily to control it. Rosemary Orchard is my co-host on iOS Today. She and I every week use eCamm Live. That's ECAMM Live as
I'm familiar with it, and that's just primarily software, right? So I don't need a hardware switcher for this.
The only hardware you would need for that is whatever plugs into your iPhone. If you've got a USB-C iPhone at this point, or if you've got a Lightning, and then plug that into your computer, and then you're good to go. What will happen is it will show up as a camera source in the app, and you can either have it overlay on your screen like you might want to, or you can have it be just the screen and you could be overlaid on it, or vice versa. And what's great about eCamm is that it will also let you bring in screen capture. So if you want to show something that's on the Mac itself, that can be up there. You can have the iPhone over that. You can have an iPad in the corner. I mean, it's the full feature.
So I could have my PowerPoint or my Keynote running, and then have part of the screen be, here's the actual app that I'm going to talk about, and navigate through that as I pull up my. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it does all of that, and it sounds like are you doing these as videos that are being recorded, or are you doing them as live kind of seminars through Zoom?
They're going to be recorded material. I want to offer some online courses through my website. So that I can try and help more people. One-on-one, you only go so far. But, if people are interested in learning how to maybe use Photo Sweeper to dedupe their photo library, I'd love to show people how to do that. There's lots of great tools, even like Mylio. Show them the power of Mylio, because it is an awesome tool. Leo's correct in that.
Yeah, that's another beauty of eCamm, is that it actually is a recording suite as well. So while in fact, I was just talking to Doc Rock, who is the community manager over at eCamm Live, and he has kind of advocated for kicking that live word off the end, because it keeps people from believing that it's a great tool for recording. They kind of go, it's only for... No, it is a recording suite. And what's great is they recently added a feature where you can record 2 video streams at once. So say you needed to do some editing afterward, it will let you record kind of that main camera feed where you're switching, but maybe you want to have that iPad being recorded separately in the background just in case you wanted to overlay that and do some editing. So yeah, it's got great built-in recording features. It's got a built-in audio mixer so that you can have audio coming from the iPad as well as coming from your microphone. Yeah, they're not a sponsor on the network, but they should be, because I could go on.
We love them.
We love them.
Yeah.
It works great. Yeah.
So it would be an app that I install, and I wouldn't need to use Zoom, for example, or Camtasia. I could just do all my recording right through that app.
Yep.
Now,
but it can act as a virtual camera for Zoom.
So yeah, if you wanted to do live seminars or something like that, you could still do all of that you're just talking about, and then you just choose that as your webcam in Zoom. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Perfect. That's awesome. Yeah, and I started a podcast, but we're not video, we're just audio, and currently I'm just doing that through Zoom, and we're capturing the audio through that.
That's good. That works.
But eCamm Live could capture the audio as well.
It could,
right?
Yep. I think in that, you could absolutely do that. Yes. But I think in that case, it's better if you're just
Zoom's fine for that,
Zoom to do that, because it's just right there. And that way, Zoom's got built-in protections and stuff where the other person's audio is being captured at the same time.
Zoom's audio processing is quite good,
it is,
too.
Yeah.
I have to say, it's pretty impressive. It's what we use all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
Tell us your website again.
Yeah. What's in the podcast now? Yes.
Yes. So the website is saveamemory.photo. And I can help people remotely. So if you've got a digital library you need help with, or you're struggling with Mylio or some other tools like Lightroom, I know all of that. And then my podcast, there's a link there that will take you to the podcast at the top of my site, or you can go directly to insidephotoorganizing.com. So the link from my website also, I am hosting some of the latest audio files there directly, but you can find us on all your your favorite podcast apps.
I'm so proud of you. You've really made this
yeah, it's awesome.
A wonderful business, and you're doing well with it?
Yes, I just picked up another client, about maybe 1,500, we call it analog photos. So
wow.
the old digital, the old print photos that I'm going to be digitizing of her and her siblings and her grandparents on both her parents' sides. So yeah, so I just secured that today, and I'm very excited. I always love new projects, and I really love the old photos, the ones on postcards from the early 1900s, the silvered photos that you have to use filters for. So I just love bringing things back to life.
Susan, are you in Rome here in this picture? This is a great, is that the Colosseum? That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, that was my, I took a cruise. You guys have been speaking about cruises.
Yep.
And so I had a Mediterranean cruise, and I got to Rome a couple days early, actually a week early, because my mother's side of the family is from Sicily, and they live in Milan, my cousins. And so I flew out there a week early and spent a week in Milan. It was fabulous. And then my cousin and I took the fast train to Rome 2 days before I had to embark on the ship.
That's the way to do it. So yeah, we got some
that
extra
was me
time
coming
in Rome.
around the corner, and it was the first time I got to see the Colosseum, and I was so excited.
So cool.
That's so cool.
Save a memory.photo. That's why you want to save these memories. You'll never, they're just, they're incredible. Susan, and as I remember, were you a school teacher?
I was a webmaster for local government, webmaster and social media manager, and then early on also a records manager. So I've got all that background of knowing how to scan images and retouch them and video, and then also helping people with genealogy, because I need to figure out it helps me date your photos. So I ask you to fill out a little family group sheet, and then I build you a little family tree, which you get when we're all done. Cool. And yeah, it's just great.
Pleasure seeing you again.
Yeah, so good to chat.
Thanks for answering my question, guys.
Of course. I got to go to Jason. You'll see why in a second.
Yeah, Jason.
Yeah. Jason looks pretty darn cool. Hi, Jason.
Hey, I talked to you about a year ago. I have the light sensitivity, and I couldn't find a new computer. Remember?
Yeah. My daughter has a similar problem with LEDs, and it's just hard for her because all these screens are LED backlit now.
Yeah, I have to wear the sunglasses pretty much all the time. It's really irritating.
Yeah.
And even in the dark, in order to stare at the screen this time, to wait for now, I had to.
I'm sorry.
To wear these. So
I apologize.
And I have a special. I have this green light. It's called an allay lamp. It's next to me. That's why I have a green tint. And it's really good for people with migraines. And when my wife bought it, I thought it was, a waste of money, but wow, the first day I used it, it really helped. So
it did? Wow.
It's a specific band of green. I'm going to get this from my daughter because her light sensitivity is really kind of ruining her life. She can't work, and she had a great job she loved, but they had LED lights above, very bright, and it gave her migraines. So I'm going to help her with this. This looks really cool. So, and it works for you.
Yes, I bought a second one because they're not cheap, and I was so afraid that I was going to drop it on the way going to work every day and bring it home.
That's how much.
So I just I bought a second one. So I have one in my office at work. All I have is the computer screen on and I have the door closed, and it's totally dark, and that's pretty much how my day goes every day. So,
every day, my word.
What particular is the sensitivity? Do you know?
I don't know. I knew it had something to do with my eyes, and I had a chiropractor give me whiplash last year.
Oh, nice.
And I was stuck in the dark for weeks. And then I'd found a pair of sunglasses my son had in a box, and I put those on, and I noticed it as I recovered, it helped me. And I think part of it is from the whiplash. It's permanent, but now the light sensitivity, I don't get headaches. My neck tightens up so much that my vertebrae gets stuck constantly in my shoulders and stuff. So,
so he activated that, and now it's really a pain. I'm gonna have to look at this LA light. This is a very specific wavelength that they think somehow soothes hyperactive neurons.
Well, I read that the guy who created it, there was a study, I forget if it was University of Arizona or something, I printed it out. It had like a really big effect on people, and I think at the end of the study, all but one person asked to keep the light.
Yeah.
And he created this product. And I've tried so many things that I thought, it's a 40-day money-back guarantee. This is a waste of time. But FedEx delivered it on a Sunday afternoon, and within 6 hours, it was like, wow, this is really helping.
I'm going to get her one.
Yeah.
That gives me goosebumps.
I'm going to get her one.
That's amazing.
We were evolved without artificial light, obviously. And we've created all these artificial lights. But, fluorescent lights and LED lights have a flicker. You can't normal people can't perceive them, but many people are sensitive to that flicker. Plus,
well, supposedly your brain, there's a part of your brain that registers different light colors, and this frequency of green stimulates it the least out of any other color, and that's what he claims anyway. So it's rechargeable. I walk around with it like a flashlight. It really helps. But
I took her to a neurologist, and the neurologist said, she said, you're getting migraines. It wasn't pain, but that she would get halos and all sorts of weird effects. And she said, not all migraines are like headaches. There can be other neurological effects, side effects.
I've seen 4 neurologists and 35 doctors because it took a while to figure out.
Well, I'm glad you found
I'm pretty
something.
well given up. So, the reason I'm calling is I found a computer.
Yes.
I found a computer that actually is working for me, and I thought that's why I would call you back, because I told you I couldn't find anything.
It's not so much the computer as the screen, right? It's about the screen.
Correct. I had never seen a Chromebook with a non-glare screen before. And I've tried Windows computers with the non-glare screen, and I've returned so many things. I told you Best Buy wouldn't let me return anything else. Lenovo has this gaming Chromebook.
Yes, the Legion.
Yes. No, this is an IdeaPad gaming Chromebook. It's a 16-inch.
Oh, it's a Chromebook, of course. Yeah, it's not a Legion. Yeah.
And the non-glare screen caught my attention, and I went home and researched it, and it actually has a screen that puts out less blue light.
Oh, okay.
And it's, I don't know how to say this, TUV Rhineland certified, and if you look that up, it's a special type of monitor that puts out less blue light.
Is it this one, the IdeaPad 16-inch gaming Chromebook?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's out of stock right now, but maybe they'll have more soon.
Well, I didn't buy it directly from them, but now I'll admit I have the yellow, the blue light filter is on, and it looks like I'm watching The Simpsons on everything that I see because it's so yellow. But and I have the screen
why
dial
is Homer
down,
Simpson yellow? That's a good point.
Because the artists didn't like blue.
And because of that, by the way, all the emojis are yellow. Somebody asked me, why are you always sending me a yellow thumbs up? And I said, well, that's just the default. He said, you can change the color.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. Now it looks more like me.
Oh, I see.
But it did look like Homer was giving us the thumbs up. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, well, but at least it doesn't give you a headache. It doesn't bother you, right?
There's a 30-day return. I've had it for a little over 3 weeks because it was like, I want to be sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I added the extra warranty for it yesterday and ordered a bigger SD card. I'm going to keep it. My wife knows that I've been trying to buy a computer for years. I'm using the same one from 2016 because I couldn't find a new one.
Yikes.
So anyway, it's a really for a Chromebook. It doesn't have touch, which I'd never used anyway, and it has that non-glare screen, but it works for me. And I thought I would call in, and if anybody does have light sensitivity,
what was the name of that certification again?
It says TUV, but the U has 2 little dots over it.
Okay.
Rhineland.
Rhineland's, RHEINLAND certified.
Yeah.
on the display, and I had to look up what that meant. But if you read reviews of it, they all say it's a lower blue light. And when I saw that, it's like, you know what? I'll go try it and bring it home. And it's like, wow, it actually first computer I've been able to buy since 2016 that I can use. So
that's wonderful.
It's a German certification. But that's why it looks a little weird. But TÜV Rheinland. Nice. Okay. Well, I'm going to write this down because my daughter uses Chromebooks. She's using the old Pixel book. That doesn't bother her eyes. I gave her one of these nice MacBooks, and she sent it back. She said, I can't use it. The blinking of the LEDs.
Are you able to get sunlight?
Sometimes it just depends. I have to wear the sunglasses. I'm better in the morning than in the afternoon. I went walking last Sunday around 3:45, beautiful weather, cool weather, and then everything kind of fell apart. When I get overloaded, I can't think from visual stimulation. I've told Leo a few years ago, I sit and listen to your old podcast. I'm back to like 2016 right now, to give me something to do because I'm stuck sitting in a dark room all the time. I can listen and focus, but to watch stuff, it does something to my mind. It's hard to focus. And so I was out walking last week, and it took me till Thursday before I felt better again. So I try to avoid the sunlight.
We're making new shows as fast as our little feet can, so you won't have to go back in time too far. And I'm sorry I kept you on hold for so long. I didn't mean to. Next time you call, I'll make sure you get on right away.
Okay, well, I appreciate your help. And get your daughter that light.
I'm gonna. I just texted
her. I really
didn't
have much expectation of it. I've tried so many things and returned it, but it's like I have two of them. So
that tells you everything. Well, I'm glad you were able to find some relief there, and I'm sorry, that this is an ongoing thing for you.
She's not a fan of artificial light in general. And I think that's probably true. Our bodies weren't evolved in this weird artificial environment. Some of us aren't sensitive.
Interesting thing to be aware of with this light, if you sit in the dark, now part of it's being in the dark, it makes you sleepy. So be aware of that. It will make you tired. It's supposed to relax your brain. So sometimes you get a little sleepy just sitting with the light. So.
All right. I don't think she minds that. Hey, thanks for the call. It's great to talk to you. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
I hope you do all like the BS, because that's really this show is all about. You know what, though? It's like getting together.
Yeah, we have a good time. There are so many people with light sensitivity stuff who...
Oh, this is a big subject.
Yeah, not only the green, but also the certified monitors. So.
Well, and there's so much blue from all of these, and you've made me aware of that.
Don't get me started.
Yeah.
The superchiasmatic nuclei just being blasted by blue light constantly.
If you're supercalifragilisticexpialidocious nuclei.
Oh, there's green behind you.
Oh,
that's nice.
Is it the right wavelength?
It's probably not. It's
very soothing.
Going to be outputting other colors as well. Yeah.
We thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate your putting up with us on a Sunday, and my beeping, which I keep muting, but it won't go away. I apologize for that too. Go away. We do this show every Sunday from 2 to 5 Eastern time. That's 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time. And you can watch us do it live or listen if you just want to be in a quiet room with the lights off. Live.twit.tv. If you are listening live or watching live, chat live in our Discord. Club Twit members can get in there and have a good time. Of course, it's free on irc.twit.tv if you like IRC. After the fact, on-demand versions of the show available at twit.tv/ATG. You can also go to the YouTube channel. It's dedicated to Ask the Tech Guys. And, of course, the best way to do this is subscribe. If you already were subscribing to the Tech Guy Show, you're getting it automatically. TechGuyLabs.com is the website. You could subscribe. We've got links to a bunch of different podcast clients, or just the simple RSS that you could paste into any client. But that way you'll get it automatically. You don't have to think about it. And you won't have to worry. Do I have a tech guy? You'll say, yes, I have many Ask the Tech Guys. Now, Micah, if they have a question, Is there some way they could get a hold of us?
So many ways they can get a hold of us. Yeah. They can send their questions to atg@twit.tv. That's the way to help out Leo's rotator cuff. That email will make its way into a mailbox behind us where he'll pull out that question. Unless you send us audio or video, in which case then we will play it out or view it out, I guess. And then you can also... I was worried you were going to sort of read that one out, and then
I'm just reading it to myself.
Good. And then you can also head to call.twit.tv, the browser, in your browser on your mobile device, and that will get you into our Zoom, where you can join and ask your question live on air. Or, Leo, what's the phone number?
8880
No!
87 24 28 84.
It is that. 888-724-2884 is the phone number that you could call. While we're doing this show, of course, you will be able to ask your question live on air. But calling at any time while we're not on air means you can leave a voicemail. We love voicemails.
We do. Now, we are still in summertime, or as we call it here, daylight saving time. But we are going to shift the first Sunday in November, which is 2 weeks from today. So you got next week, the 29th, and then the following week, we are going to shift our time. Now, that doesn't probably make any difference to people in the United States, but many of you are already on standard time and so forth. So I always give out the UTC for the show. And right now, Coordinated Universal Time, the show begins at 1800 UTC. In 2 weeks, it will begin at a different time. I don't know. I guess either going to be 1700 or 1900. I don't know. Anyway, I'll tell you then. But just to let you know ahead of time, that's why we are maybe at a different time. Maybe your time changed and ours didn't. And I don't know how to solve this. Probably the easiest thing is just subscribe to the podcast and you listen at whatever darn time you want.
Absolutely.
Is that it?
That's it.
Is anything more? Anybody has anything? Okay, I wish I had a gavel because I could
ask for anything more.
Who could ask for anything more? Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. I'm Leo Laporte.
I'm Micah Sargent.
Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Hey, I'm Rod Pyle, editor-in-chief of Ad Astra Magazine, and each week I join with my co-host to bring you This Week in Space, the latest and greatest news from the final frontier. We talk to NASA chiefs, space scientists, engineers, educators, and artists, and sometimes we just shoot the breeze over what's hot and what's not in space, books, and TV. And we do it all for you, our fellow true believers. So whether you're an armchair adventurer or waiting for your turn to grab a slot in Elon's Mars rocket, join us on This Week in Space and be part of the greatest adventure of all time.